The opinions expressed of this show are for entertainment purposes and should not be misconstrued or interpreted as fact. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Your membership to Gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Pat Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here. Oh, look at Nussflush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Can. Kenny Can wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50?
You son of a bitch!
Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Can, Smoke and Mirrors, Director 97. Home. That is the way. Here comes Jason Meyer, the Eldorado Custodian, Billy Friedrich. Jones one all coming down the finish.
Coin! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
From the Corker Peter Low Shack, legendary sports handicapper, more dapper than a Dom. Father young phenom, known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA when we all PSR Pub Sports Radio bizarre. Is a man named slaughter and he flipped the script. No competition in this they quit the trip. But we say we be pubbing. Man, I want the bag and you love it. We want a top 10, we above it. Leche.
Alrighty, say hey everyone. Welcome into another edition of Betting with Bouquett. My name is Jose Bouquett, and it's nice to see everyone bright and early here on a Thursday morning here. We've got a load of games to talk about. We're going WNBA, CFL, MLB, and the NBA today, so it should be a good one here. Full slate. We've got a great list of guests here as well. So we're not going to dilly and we're not going to dally here. You guys know when I host these shows are a little more fast-paced. So we will get into all these games here, and it'll be a good time. And I know it's nice to see everyone in here as well. We have a full slate, like I mentioned. We've got our guy Gorky dropping in his action here. Lithuanian basketball. Germany basketball, and he's on the Blue Jays. Our guy Justin McKelvey dropping his stacks play of the game of the day, I should say, not of the game, and he will be coming on here to give out his stacks on the first game here. Kong's Clips, Troy Torrance, another great guest joining us here today. Maddie Ice dropping Taint. We'll star that, and we'll come back to that one as well. We have two double headers as well, making the baseball extremely chunky here. Oldie, Wine Time Sports, Gorky, Jason Meyer, Sharon, Big Daddy Boom, Nuke Worker in here as well. Lynn Belvedere. Let's get after it here. Von Polo Jimmy is getting his shoulder looked at. He's at the doctor. He's determining if he needs to get the full new shoulder, cut it off, give him the bionic arm, or if he's just taking a sweet HGH here. So let's get into it here, and let's talk about this baseball game first. We're going to talk about the baseball game first, and we'll roll into the CFL here. We've got 4 games on the CFL slate here that I'd love to chat with Bobano, and then we'll roll into the rest of baseball here. So without further ado, let us bring on the Unicorn Capper. His horn is strong, and he's got a capping sense unlike any other. Host of the Ice Guys, host with Connor Mack picks as well. It is the one, the only Ian Cameron joining the program here. Bobano, my man, how are you?
I don't know. I'm doing okay. I've been better. The sore throat is bothering me, as you can tell. I almost died on the air during the hitting the book show with Connor Mack yesterday. I could barely, I had to coughing and wheezing through that thing. It might happen today too, so bear with me. But we're here. We're powering through. It's amazing. I didn't get sick at all during the busy season, all hockey season, no issues. Now the NHL's over, and here I am with a sore throat. Doesn't make sense.
Bobano, it's like your body realized it was like, we finished the season, and now I can relax, and your body just succumbs to the sickness here. So that's very funny to see. Let's bring on another special guest here, coming on to talk about the MLB. He's got a great jacket on today. Great jacket on. I say the odds that jacket comes off is -500, and he's wearing a tank top underneath. But let's talk about it. Let's bring him on. The master of the market database efficiency. His son even wears the shirt. It's our guy, Troy Torrance, joining the program. Troy, my man, how are you?
I'm doing well. You know me pretty well, Jose. Of course I got the tank top underneath. What happens if I get a little spicy? I got to pop off the hoodie. I got to, it's all about being comfortable while you're capping and you're ready to kick some ass. So let's get to it, man.
Let's get to it. One last guest here. One last guest. He has a play in this game. I told him, come on in, give out your plays. This play's so, I don't know, I want to call it popular, but another capper texted me this morning and said, here's a player prop that you must bet, and you're going to like it, and you're going to say thank you. I politely said no thank you to that request, and this person proceeded to get angry with me for saying no thank you about not taking this bet. So shout out to that person. It's not this person, though. It's the one. It's the only. Justin McKelvey, Mr. Stacks, joining us here.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Full house joining the program. Everyone is in. Justin, my man, how are you?
I actually feel like Bobano. It's crazy. I got a sore throat too.
Well,
Talking too much, me. Yeah.
here we go. We got a bunch of cappers talking too much and sore throats, but god damn it, they battled through for us. God damn, Justin, is that your going out shirt? That's a nice shirt right there.
No, it's Juneteenth.
Okay, there you go. Shout out to Juneteenth. You're right. Shout out to Juneteenth and
Yeah,
Las Vegas.
they be having out here on my way. They be having little Juneteenth little get together. So
Oh, so you're fucking tonight is what I've heard. Justin's fucking tonight, guys. Watch out.
no, I'm single. I'm tired of girls.
Well, let's get into this game. It starts in about 30-ish minutes here, and we've got the one, the only Chris Paddock versus Nick Martinez. Nick Martinez, much maligned around the airwaves of Pub Sports Radio by one Dabby Cab, and for good reason. At times, he's given up runs in several of his starts. His last few, 5 innings, 4 earned runs against the Tigers, 6 innings, 1 earned run against the Arizona Diamondbacks at home, and 4 and 2/3, 7 hits, 5 earned runs against the offensive juggernaut that was, or maybe is, the Chicago Cubs there. Chris Paddock on the other side, a guy that I don't particularly have a lot of love for. I go back and forth on whether this guy is a major league pitcher or not, if I'm being honest. And he had a great stretch of starts. He went 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 8 innings, 1 earned runs, 5 2/3, 2 earned runs back to back. So he's been fine. And then his last start, he gave it all up. 4 innings, 12 hits, 9 runs, 8 of them earned against the Houston Astros at the Juice Box, or at least the place that was formerly the Juice Box there. So very fascinating to see these guys go up against each other. We have the market here saying that, and I want to refresh real quick so I can make sure we've got the accurate numbers in here. 52% of the bets are on the Cincinnati Reds, but 76% of the money is on the Minnesota Twins. So see, it's very interesting that 48% getting that 76% of the money. Big bets seemingly on the Minnesota Twins here. I'm seeing openers at penny at -108. It has stayed there, but Minnesota has moved to even money from -102, where we used to have the poker tournaments at -109 up to -110. So not much movement there. Total real quick before I pass it off here, and we'll start with Bobano and go right down the line here. 64% of the bets are on the under, but 65% of the money is on the over in this game. Interesting dichotomy there. 9 juice to the over opener at penny -115. It is now, wow, interestingly enough, this went from 9, got up to 9.5 pretty quickly last night around 2 a.m., goes all the way up to 10. And then it comes back down to 9.5 here. That is at penny, where we used to play poker. Opened it up 9.5, went down for a little bit, then came right back up to that 9.5. So fascinating stuff here. I don't know whether I'm going to move on this game yet. I want to hear everyone's thoughts, feelings, opinions. But me personally, I would go back to the Reds here. We'll see how we're feeling. Shout out to Matty Ice for dropping Tainted here. Can't wait to talk about that. Bobano, first game on the card, Twins, Reds. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I 2 bets here, actually, the first game, which doesn't happen. Hasn't happened when I've been on the last few Thursdays. Usually these early games, I don't feel strongly about them. But I like Cincy here. I like the over as well. The total's gone up from 9.5 to 10. 9.5 at -1. Looks like -116 is the best price out there right now with over 9.5. So I'm on that as well. Nick Martinez, I don't trust him, but the one place he's pitched well is at home, which is why I still like Cincinnati here today. He's pitched very well at home. I don't know if it's going to continue because I think eventually he's going to get hit here at Great American. He's got an xFIP of 4.32. That's nothing to write home about. It's more than his overall ERA. But I'm willing to look past that because I don't trust the other guy, Chris Paddock. And at least with Martinez, I've got a team that's swinging the bat better. I got a team that's in better form right now, that being the Cincinnati Reds, and I'm comfortable backing them at a very cheap price here. You're talking, minus 105 actually right now is the best price available with the Reds. I'm cool with that, taking them here minus 105. I like the over as well because I think the Reds will hit Paddock. Paddock got absolutely destroyed by Houston. Historically, he's been poor on the road. This year, he's been, a little bit better, but he's still long-term not a guy I love trusting or backing here away from home, Chris Paddock. So I think we're going to see runs. I think the Twins will score a little bit too. That's why I like this over as well. But I think the Reds, I just like this price at home with a team that's in pretty solid form right now. So Cincy minus 105 and over 9.5 minus 116.
All right, Cincy for Bobano. Troy, what's the market database saying here?
So it's a really tricky market to try to pin down. And the problem with it is, we're out of conference, which markets operate vastly different than in conference or in division for that matter. And it opened around a pick 'em. So it's very volatile, depending on just a few cents of movement, a few cents of open, of where the line open makes a huge difference too. So really tricky. When I first profiled it, the range was between 51 and 63% in favor of the Reds, with the 55% average, but that actually got a little bit better here over the past few minutes. I was in Discord talking to some people and I reprofiled it. We're looking at the most specific market profile, 10-5 straight up in favor of the Reds. And the Twins in this market type, 1-4 straight up. And line movement in this market is 5-0. And right now there has been just the slightest of all moves towards the Reds. Only 3 cents the book I use to track in the database. So I think the market signs off on the Reds. Does the matchup? I agree with Bobano. I mean, I want Martinez at home. He's obviously surprisingly much better in Great American Small Park with the 2.52 ERA, 2.15 opponent batting average, and you got Paddock. And this is a guy who, I continue to be surprised by his ability to go out there and post good performances, just like you, Jose. I've been waiting for this guy to get touched up, and he's coming off his worst start of the season against Houston. I think that's going to continue because the Reds over the past month are 5th in WRC plus in the MLB. You got the Twins who are 2-4 straight up in the last game of a road to home series because, after this they travel home. They got the Brewers. And, I'm not going to try to step in front or try to catch a falling knife with this Twins team. I like Martinez. I was kind of feeling the same about Martinez as I did Paddock. Eventually he's going to get blown up. But I think what we've seen from Martinez is his ability to command the strike zone. And I trust him. So I went first 5. I paid a little bit of juice for it. I got Reds first 5 money line minus 117 for 1 unit.
Okay. Reds for Troy. Torrance here on with Bobano here. And that's full game, correct?
I took first 5 minus 117.
Oh, first 5. First 5. Excuse me there. I'm glad I asked there. Stacks, my man. You've heard our first 2 cappers on the Reds. I know you're not on a side here. Let us know what you're on here. And you're muted, my guy. This is the first time you pulled a dabby cap.
It happens.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
I had to get an ink pen, but I'm not against none of them. But I got 2 plays in this. I'm with Bobano on the over. I got over 9. I think I got a minus. Paid minus 118. But stacks play today is Carlos Correa over 1.5 bases plus 118, and it's wild because there's numbers in the chat. That's exactly what he got. He 9 for 14, 3 doubles, 3 bombs. And I posted it this morning, and then Dabby texted me all the numbers 3 hours later, talking about take Correa. So I texted back, but that's why he stacks play today. I said, but you don't look at Twitter. You made me get Twitter, and you don't look at it.
Well, that's facts right there. And spoiler alert, Justin, he indeed was the person that texted me as well and was not pleased.
I know it was. He texted me too, and I was like, check Twitter. You made me get Twitter.
That's just facts. He is the guy that made Justin get Twitter. So credit to Dabby there. No credit for Dabby getting annoyed with me for saying no thank you.
No, but you got to play Correa today. Martinez sucked. I wouldn't. I respect y'all for being on the. I'm not backing Martinez.
I understand. It's a both these teams are good against hitting righties too. You mentioned it, Troy. This past month. 19-day sample, 121 weighted runs created plus for Cincinnati. Minnesota is 112, 9th. So both are good. I'd probably lean over, but no action for me here. Panel, just to go through it one more time. Bobano, you're on Reds full game, and yet another play. I forgot what it was already.
Yeah, 9.5 over, minus 116.
9.5 over. Troy is on Reds first 5.
Yeah, I just want to say this too. I disagree with Martinez. I know he struggled with this lineup specifically, and Correa sticks out like a sore thumb when you look at history. But Martinez, 3.92 ERA, 3.88 xERA. His xERA is actually better than his actual ERA. He's pitching in Great American Small Park. But Bobano said the opposite, basically brought up a variable that's the opposite of that xERA, which is the xFIP. So, I mean, you can look at it a few different ways, I guess. But, yeah, I trust Martinez.
Yeah, I'm a FIP guy over xERA, so it's very interesting. I've seen you use xERA, and I'm very interested to see. I might use it more myself. And Justin on Stacks here, the over is, or not Stacks, excuse me. Stacks is Carlos Correa's over 1.5 bases, and he's also on the over in this game.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jose. xFIP does not account for quality of contact, right? It's just. I
don't think so. Yeah, I think it's just I'm not exactly sure if it's quality of contact. I know it's fielding independent pitching.
xERA does take into account quality of contact.
Okay.
Bobano, do you know?
You guys.
You can't deny his success at home, though, this year. You can't. He's pitched very well here in this ballpark, and I'm okay with that. And plus, it's just a team in better form. Like, they're playing great ball. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're 7-3 to the over in their last 10. I've been on a lot of Reds and overs lately in their games, and it's worked out more than not. So I'm okay going back to the well today.
Okay, beautiful. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for jumping on here early for this early game. This game will start in about 20 minutes. We have our live betting agenda set here. Hopefully, maybe we get 2 scoreless innings. We can move on a live over in this game here, and we'll see what that goes. Justin, I thank you. We'll see you back here very soon.
Very soon.
Very soon,
my man. It might be the next. I don't know what order you're going. It might be the next game. Or
we're going CFL right now, so we're gonna.
I'll be back.
So, I know you don't fuck with the CFL.
And then back to MLB. Yep.
Yeah. Beautiful. Troy, we'll see you back here soon as well.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right. Beautiful, my guys. Thank you, gentlemen, for jumping on. Bobano, let's get into the wacky world of the CFL here. And is admittedly a league that I like to watch from afar now, and seeing all my reject Oklahoma State quarterbacks come out of nowhere. Drew Brown.
Taylor Cornelius is gone. You don't have to worry about him anymore.
Yeah, he was horrid. But now you guys have Drew Brown. Drew Brown's in the league, so we just cycle him through. So
that's true. He's injured, though. He may not play this week again.
Oh, well, I don't even know, Bobano, what team he's on. For whoever's sake I hope they don't play. I hope he doesn't play for Ottawa's sake. But let's talk about Montreal here. Yeah, I'll never forget, Bobano. I drove up 5 hours to go watch Oklahoma State, Oklahoma. Big game, obviously. Spencer Sanders was the quarterback. 2 hours before I get there, ruled out Drew Brown starting quarterback. Oh, my God. Just horrifying stuff. But let's talk about this Edmonton Elks Montreal Alouette spot here. Bobano, I'll give you some market analysis, hopefully, here, and let you see where these lines open up at and see where these move, because this is obviously where you reign supreme here. And I find this league to be fascinating here. Now, Bobano, quickly before we get into it, is it's still Montreal the top squad here? They think they made it to the Grey Cup last year and lost to Toronto.
No, they lost in the East final to Toronto, and Toronto beat Winnipeg in the Grey Cup last year. But Montreal got to the East final last year. They won the Grey Cup 2 years ago.
Yeah, and they're a wagon. I do kind of like Bobano, the French, like us against the world mentality they have in Montreal here. I'm seeing this line open up at a 5.5. It is now up to a 6.5 here, Bobano. What'd you think about this first game, Alouettes Elks? Even 7's actually coming up now.
Yeah, Edmonton's an interesting team to have to evaluate, because we just have the one game that they've played. That's it. And that was in week 1 against BC, where for a half they played okay, especially on defense. But then in the second half, they couldn't get a stop. And the defense got absolutely carved up and picked apart by Nathan Rourke and the BC Lions. And BC scored at will in the second half, and Edmonton could not stop them, and BC ended up turning that game into a pretty comfortable win against Edmonton. And then they had the bye week last week, so how good is Edmonton? I don't know. They played a decent first half against BC, and then they got ripped in the second half. And obviously, this is the team that's been arguably the worst team in the CFL for the last several years. It's a team that's been absolutely atrocious as well at home here at Commonwealth Stadium. They're straight up an ATS record. At home over the years has been absolutely horrific. So there were things that I liked about Edmonton, giving opportunity to Trey Ford as the quarterback to start the year. I thought the defense on paper looked a lot better. But boy, oh boy, that defense did not look good in the second half. We'll see if the bye week helps. But normally we like good coaches, experienced coaches with the bye week. But we're talking about he's been around a long time in the league as a special teams coordinator with Calgary for so many years. But the fact remains for Mark Killam, who's the new head coach of this Edmonton Elks team, he's a rookie CFL head coach. It's his first year as a head coach. How does he handle the bye week? Is he able to coach him up, if you will, and get this team to play their best? I'm not sure about that. What I do know about Montreal, now you can quibble about the competition. Toronto doesn't have Chad Kelly. They've got Nick Arbuckle at quarterback, and they've lost a lot on defense, and Montreal played them in week 1 and routed them. You can talk about playing Ottawa. They played Ottawa with a backup quarterback in Matthew Schultz because your guy from Stillwater, Drew Brown, was injured last week. And you could talk about how Montreal really, took advantage of a couple teams in dubious spots, tricky situations. But the fact remains they were dominant in those games on both sides of the football. Davis Alexander looks like the real deal. He is now 6-0 as a starting quarterback in the CFL. He hasn't lost going back to last year. He has a bevy of receivers and weapons to work with, it's a long list of great receivers they have. Tyson Philpott, Austin Mack is back in the fold and healthy. Charleston Rambo, Tyler Snead, who had a great college career at East Carolina. Cole Speaker. I mean, they got just a ton of great receivers, this Alouettes team. The offense looks very solid. And even cutting Walter Fletcher, they found a couple of running. They like Sean Thomas Erlington. This Travis Tice guy, who they got from North Dakota State, FCS ranks. This guy's been great early on. I'm starting to figure out why they cut Walter Fletcher. They're fine. I think the other running backs have been great. And their defense is just amazing. At all three levels, they can get a pass rush from the defensive line. They can stop the run, which they've done both games. Toronto didn't run the football lick against Montreal. William Stanback, the ex-Montreal Alouette for Ottawa last week, what did he have, 34 rushing yards against this Montreal defense? He couldn't get anything going. The linebacking core is solid. The secondary's loaded. Wesley Sutton, Marc-Antoine Dequoy, linebacker Tyrese Beverette's an outstanding player. They look like the best team in the East Division, and they damn well might be the best team in the CFL right now on paper, this Montreal team. The only concern in the pit of my gut is Edmonton off the bye. Normally that isn't a good spot. Normally that's a spot where you want to buy low on a team that struggled going into the bye week. And it is a lot of points, but I don't fully trust what I saw at Edmonton. We have the one game, and Trey Ford looked lost. He was inaccurate. He was bad decisions, multiple interceptions, and the defense got picked apart in the second half. That's our only piece of evidence to evaluate Edmonton here in the first 2 weeks, and it's not enough for me to trust them here. So what I'm going to go with here is a bet that I cashed with right here on this very show 2 weeks ago. Montreal team total over. We won with it in week 1 against Toronto when I was with Jimmy on a Thursday. Last week, Montreal would have been on my CFL card had it not been for the crazy line move. I got in at minus 115 with Montreal money line, and then I was with Jimmy on the show on Thursday. It was like 5.5 at that time. Yeah. You just can't put that on the card. You can't make that an official play. But if it had been, it would have turned a 1-1 week into a 2-1 week for me on the show in the CFL. So that's the unfortunate part. But I'm going to go with Montreal team total over 27.5, minus 110. They scored 28 against Toronto. They scored 39 against Ottawa. I talked about how the offense is rolling, but don't sleep on the defense and the ability of this Montreal defense to score. The Alouettes have a defensive touchdown in each of their first 2 games. They got a fumble recovery for a touchdown against Toronto, and they got a pick 6 last week of Matthew Schultz against Ottawa. So they scored a defensive touchdown in each of the first 2 games. And if you got a defense that can not only play great, but score as well, get points off turnovers and score on defense, that certainly helps you if you're taking a team total. So Alouettes for me, Jose, team total over 27.5, -110.
All right. Beautiful work there. I forgot I should be writing these down. So Alouettes team total over 27.5, you said?
Yep. They've scored 28 in both games, 28 or more. So that's all we need. So I think they can get there.
And what was the juice on that again?
-110.
-110 there. Thank you, Bobano. Let's keep it rolling here. And by the way, a week 2 bye. I'm sure they have multiple bye weeks, right?
Yeah, there's got to be a team on a bye week every week in the CFL because it's an odd number of teams in the league, 9.
Yeah.
So someone's got to be on a bye every week. That's just the way it is.
That's hilarious. All right, well, good for the Edmonton Elks, I guess. Good early rest. Saskatchewan versus Toronto. Next up on our slate here, Bobano. Chad Kelly still not back, correct?
Chad Kelly's out. It's still Nick Arbuckle.
Yep,
Once
so
again. Grey Cup MVP, who has MOP, I should say, filling in for Chad Kelly and playing the game of his career against Winnipeg, reverting back into the Nick Arbuckle that we know the first 2 weeks of this season, the guy that's not that great.
Yeah, 0-3 start here for Toronto after making it to the Grey Cup final here, and I guess winning it, I should say, against Saskatchewan here. And by the way, a theme you'll see all throughout these last 4 games of CFL, all of the road teams are favored here, which is fascinating. Saskatchewan coming into Toronto here, and this line has to be a reflection of how bad Toronto's quarterbacking has been, Bobano. I'm seeing a 2.5 opener here go up to 3.5 already. There's some 3s still around here with 3.5 available right now at Penny. What do you think about this game, and how bad is Toronto right now?
It's not just that they're bad as to why the number's where it is and why there's been Saskatchewan money. It's the injuries. It's gotten really horrific from an injury standpoint for the Argos heading into this game. Really bad. Now, the one thing I'm worried about here with Saskatchewan is they're traveling east for the second straight week. You know, they were in Hamilton last week. They got the win against my woe-begotten Ticats. Then they went back home and practiced all week in Regina. And now they're going back east to Toronto for this game on Friday night. So I don't love that from a situational standpoint. I don't love that from a travel scenario. Two flights back and forth to the east. But they're the better team right now. Toronto is just, not only are they struggling, Nick Arbuckle, again, has looked like the Nick Arbuckle we remember all those years in the CFL, who's just not that great, makes bad decisions, throws interceptions. He had 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in the first 2 games against Montreal and Calgary. Not very good. The O-line has struggled to protect for him as well. The run game, you know, they look like a bunch of horses' asses, the Argos, right now for cutting Kadeem Carey because they've had no run game to speak of so far this season, the Argos. And, you know, they cut Kadeem Carey because they believed in McMahon and this Mayan Williams kid that they think has got great speed and they can't run the football. But it's now the injuries that are really mounting up. O-line injuries are piling up. They already had a lot of personnel turnover from last year on the defensive line and the secondary, losing a ton of key pieces from those groups, like Orumalade, who's now in Calgary. But the big one, the one that I think might be just too much to overcome, is Wynton McManus. This guy has been one of the best defensive players in the CFL for years.
Great name.
Yeah, it is. It's a great. He's a great player. Great name. Great player. Great toothpick too. He always has a toothpick in his mouth.
Okay, sure.
He rocks the toothpick, Dusty Baker style. We always remember Dusty Baker had that going all the time. But he is just a difference maker. He's a game wrecker on defense. He can play against the run. He can drop back in coverage. He can even sometimes get pressure on the quarterback because they'll sometimes use him in pass rush situations. It is just absolutely he's just such an integral part of that defense. He already has 10 tackles on the season in just 2 games combined. It's just, to me, too much to ask, in my opinion, to replace him on defense for a team that's already depleted on the D-line from a bunch of new players. And, of course, the secondary, which has a lot of new faces in it as well. So it's just, it's funny. I did not expect to be on Saskatchewan, but I was. I laid a money line price of minus 140. It has since climbed up to minus one. I think minus 165 is the best you can do. It's even as high as minus 175 right now. But I think it's just too many injuries right now for the Toronto Argonauts this week. 0-2 straight up, 0-2 against the spread. Certainly there's going to be a level of desperation. You don't want to go 0-3, but I just don't know if they've got the personnel right now to turn things around at this point in time. I think Saskatchewan can pull this out. I'm taking a bit of a hit here as far as the price. Not the best price I got with this bet, but I will go with it anyway, Jose, for the show, and go with minus 165 here, Saskatchewan on the money line. I just don't see a pathway for Toronto to win this football game with the way they're playing, the way Nick Arbuckle's not reading defenses, with the injuries galore that they're dealing with. And look, Saskatchewan's got a few too. Like Samuel Emelis is not going to play, one of their better receivers. But this kid that's going to take his spot is Joe Robustelli. This guy was just really, really making people take notice in preseason with how impressive he was. A good weapon. I know Trevor Harris, the quarterback of Saskatchewan, spoke very highly of him. So I think without Emelis, they can still do enough on offense. It's probably a lower scoring game too, but I'm just sticking to the Riders here, Saskatchewan on the money line.
Saskatchewan minus 165 for Bobano. By the way, I will touch on Jimmy's action here when we get back, or we finish these games with Bobano. It's on the first game, so we'll touch on that here shortly. But let's roll on to.
I don't even have to guess. I got to believe he's on Edmonton.
He is on Edmonton plus 6.5, and he's on the first half under.
I don't think he thinks Montreal's as good as I do, and he thinks Edmonton's better than I do. So I'm not surprised.
Yes, and the fact that they're 6.5, I would have assumed it would have been like a 7. The fact that it's 6.5 makes them seem a little more vulnerable, but we shall see here. Red Black stamps. No Drew Brown. The world cries for no Drew Brown here, Bobana. But this line has been moving a little bit. We have Stampeders as the favorite here. And I'm seeing pick'em lines here. I saw Bet MGM earlier. Obviously, have the Red Blacks as favored. So this kind of has gone back and forth here. It seems in one of the most tightly contested, seemingly games of the week here, Bobana. What are you expecting for both of these teams?
I came into this game not loving, I should say. It's hard to love Ottawa, but I really thought this was a good spot for Ottawa, who played Montreal and Saskatchewan in their first 2 games. 2 very good football teams. That's my Grey Cup pick, Montreal and Saskatchewan, to be in the Grey Cup this year. And so Ottawa now taking a step down in class. I don't think Calgary's as good as Montreal or Saskatchewan, Ottawa's first 2 opponents. I thought it was a good spot for Ottawa to get off the schneid, win their first game here. I think Calgary's a little overhyped, a little overvalued now after the 2-0 start. Let's not forget they beat Hamilton, who sucks, and Toronto, who's not very good either at this point in time. So they beat 2 weaklings. Look, Hamilton and Toronto are combined 0-4 now on the season, straight up in ATS, and that's who Calgary's beaten. So I'm not ready to crown the Calgary Stampeders just yet after this 2-0 start that they've had. But there's so many things going on with this game. Let's start with the quarterback situation. Drew Brown missed last week. Matthew Schultz was god-fucking awful in his place last week. He was not good at all. And Drew Brown, there was hope he would be back this week, but Bob Dice, the head coach, says that Dustin Crum is most likely to get the start here, and he's been taking most of the reps this week for the Red Blacks in practice. So as of now, it's really hard to determine, and there's one more day of practice coming up for Ottawa, and it's today. We're going to know a lot more probably in a few hours. If Drew Brown's in, I will move on Ottawa, because I think it's a good spot for them to get their first win, a beatable Calgary team who I think is a little overvalued after beating a couple of cupcakes and weaklings in their first 2 games. But I need Drew Brown in there, Jose. I need your guy at Okie State in there, because Dustin Crum, well, first, we're not going to see Schultz, and rightfully so. He was terrible last week. But if it's Dustin Crum, I'm not sold that's much of an upgrade from Matthew Schultz. He burst onto the scene 2 years ago, Dustin Crum. For an injured Ottawa quarterback that year. And right away he had success. But defenses adjusted. They saw that he was lethal with his feet, lethal running the football. His mobility is what really made the difference for Dustin Crum. And defense is figured out. Keep this guy in the pocket. Don't let him run. And force him to make throws down the field in the pocket. And if you can do that, you take away Dustin Crum's effectiveness. And Dustin Crum, in all of his recent opportunities to start at quarterback for Ottawa, he's been just overthrowing receivers, underthrowing receivers, interceptions, bad decisions. I don't trust him flat out if he gets the start here for the Ottawa Red Blacks. And that is why if it's Dustin Crum and we get no go on Drew Brown again, I will not be betting Ottawa, even though I want to here in this spot. I also want the over because I think Calgary's a dead nuts over team. You know, with their offense, Vernon Adams, they can move the football. Big quarterback upgrade. They did lose Bagleton, though. Their best receiver, he's on the 6-week IR. That's unfortunate. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But like I said, their offense is still ahead of their defense. 75% new players on that side of the ball for Calgary. So I was really hoping to bet an over here, 50.5, 51. But then I looked at the forecast, weather-wise, for Calgary Saturday afternoon. 100% chance of rain and winds in the 30 miles per hour, 50 kilometers per hour range.
Goodness.
So you're talking about like a rainstorm and a windstorm, potentially all at once for game time here in Calgary. And how can you move on the over when you see a forecast like that? The rain doesn't bother me, by the way. The wind, and I've said that about NFL games and college games too. The wind is the biggest detriment and deterrent to an over. It's not the rain, it's the wind. And that 30-mile-an-hour, 50-kilometer-an-hour wind in the forecast Saturday for Calgary scares me off the over, at least for now, unless I see the forecast change. So I lean Ottawa. I lean over, but there's no fucking way I can make a bet right now given the circumstances.
You aren't interested in the under here. You're not an under better, as we all know, Bobano. You don't bet many of them. So the under didn't pop out at you with that rain and wind?
I would certainly be more likely to lean under with a forecast like that, unless the forecast changes drastically. And you could have Dustin Crum, not Drew Brown at quarterback for Ottawa. And to me, there's a big difference between the two. You know, I like how people, shit on Drew Brown. Drew Brown had a good season last year, and Drew Brown threw 400 passing yards against Saskatchewan in week 1, even though they lost. He played a good game. It wasn't Drew Brown's fault. He's a good quarterback. But Dustin Crum is not from a passing standpoint. So, yeah, the under would make sense. If you get the combination, Jose, of Crum at quarterback for Ottawa and this rain and wind being as bad as it looks right now, the under could be a really good play, I must admit.
Okay. Well, let's get to our last game here. We have still about 20-ish minutes for the baseball game, so no worries there, gentlemen. We've got the Winnipeg Blue Bombers versus the BC Lions here. Bobano, openers at 2.5. Openers at 2.5, excuse me, now up to 3 here, Bobano. Last CFL game on the board. What do you think?
So there's a lot of shit going on here. I mean, it's one of those weeks. There's like injuries and who's in, who's out with a lot of these games. And in this game, Brady Oliveira is likely going to be out again for Winnipeg, the most outstanding player last year, unbelievable running back, the best running back in the CFL. Yet the guy that replaced him, the Canadian, he played very well last week in the win for the Bombers against this BC Lions team. This is a rematch, actually, of last week between these two teams. Chris Drevler got the start because Zach Collaros was suspended for 1 game, and Chris Drevler was outstanding. I think it's probably the best game I've seen Chris Drevler play at in the CFL. Certainly,
brother of the quarterback for the Cowboys?
Yeah, he was in the Jets. He was with the Jets in training.
The Jets. Yeah, okay, that's where I was.
Yeah, I was like, how did you not remember that? Yeah.
I was like, I've heard this name before. Where do I know this name?
Clamoring him to start. Week 1 after one of those preseason performances he had. Chris Drevler for the Jets a couple of years ago.
It was shocking. He couldn't throw the football. I remember that.
Yeah. But he's gotten better at it. And I still think I worry about him throwing the ball. He can run, but that was the best throwing I've seen out of him maybe ever last week against BC. He was really strong in that game. It's funny. On paper, Zach Collaros is back. He served a suspension. He's going to start here for Winnipeg. Normally, you'd say you're going from Strevler to Collaros, instant upgrade at quarterback for Winnipeg. Is it, though, for this game? And I say that because Strevler played his best game I've ever seen in the CFL last week. Collaros, yes, he's back, and yes, he's still the guy you'd rather have, but let's rewind to the last year. How did Zach Collaros start the season for Winnipeg last year? He was terrible. It took him like 4, 5, 6 weeks to really get his footing under him and play the way he's capable of. He had an abysmal first month of the season for Winnipeg last year at quarterback. Interceptions. He just didn't look like the Zach Collaros we thought. Now, the whole team struggled last year in the first month of the season. But I actually do worry about Winnipeg here, just dropping him back in there to start for this game after how well Strevler played last week and knowing how much Collaros struggled last season, I should say, to begin the year in the first month. Now, for BC, we don't know if Nathan Rourke's playing. He got injured last week. He left the game. If he doesn't play, Jeremiah Masoli, veteran CFL quarterback, will start. I think for one game, he can be fine. You don't want him long term, but he's capable for one game of coming in and playing well. So here's the thing. I'm taking BC here, plus 3.5, minus 115. You can lock that in, Jose, official play. BC Lions, plus 3.5, minus 115. I am going to be on this side regardless of the quarterback situation for the Lions. Obviously, I'd prefer Nathan Rourke in there, clearly. But Jeremiah Masoli's been around the block. He's been around a long time in this league, and I think he's got the ability to still play well for one game. If Nathan Rourke's ruled in, which is still a possibility for this game on Saturday night, the money will come in on BC. This line will move toward BC if Nathan Rourke plays, and it'll close much closer to a pick'em by kickoff on Saturday if Rourke's playing. So the way I see it, I'm getting a good number right now with BC, plus 3.5. I think they can still challenge to win outright, if not win the game, even with Masoli. Obviously, like it even more if Rourke's in, but I like BC here, plus 3.5. Revenge spot at home. Didn't love the way they played, obviously, last week against Winnipeg. I think they bounced back. And don't forget how Winnipeg was very, very ordinary on the road last year. And for the last couple of years, they've been awesome at home. They have been a beatable football team. All these years, they've won the West Division and been in the Grey Cup, but on the road, they have been beatable, this Winnipeg Blue Bombers team. I'm not buying them as road favorites here this week. So BC plus 3.5, minus 115.
Okay. BC plus 3.5, minus 115. Bobano will recap your CFL action here at the end. We have some baseball games going here in a few minutes, so let's shift gears and roll right into the baseball. And this is why you're the unicorn capper, Bobano. We go from the CFL, we go from the NFL, we go from the NBA, we go to college basketball, whatever you need, Bobano has got your back here. So shout out to you, Bobano. Let's bring on again the king of the market efficiency database, Troy Torrance. Welcome back here, Troy. Nice to see you again. Let's jump straight into these games here. And let's start with the New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Angels here. Tyler Anderson. Let me double check. Yes, Tyler Anderson. I don't know why I thought he pitched yesterday for whatever reason. It was Kohanowitz yesterday, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But Tyler Anderson versus Carlos Rodon here. Now, the Yankees, I especially hate to see this, ladies and gentlemen, but the Yankees are now on an L6. Have not scored anything basically in their last 3 games. They've been horrible offensively, and this is the Angels' opportunity to sweep them here. Obviously, minus 285 is a tough spot to bet here if you are a Yankees backer here. But let's see what the market is in this game and hear from our guest here. 75% of the bets and 81% of the money are on the under in this game here. So that's fascinating. We have an 8.5. Wow. This has to be inaccurate here. I'm seeing 8.5 openers up to 10.5.
That's correct.
That's right, Troy?
Yes,
that's
sir.
Real life?
What do they know? We're the Yankees team that scored, 2 runs in 4 fucking games or whatever it is now?
What the fuck?
What do they know?
So that's crazy. That's the most
What
dramatic.
are we doing here? Over 10 and the team has scored 2 runs in 4 games, 5 games, whatever it is.
Yeah, Bobano, watch out. You're going to lose the rest of your voice here if you get loud now. Watch out. We need you, Bobano. But 10.5 here they're showing now. Penny's showing 10.5 plus 103, opened up at a 9 there. Good Lord. That is crazy. I feel like I should jump in on that over, but it's just tough to bet when it's fucking a whole run, 2 runs higher. Or for the money line here, 70% of the bets, 81% of the money on the Yankees here. Troy, we'll let you kick this one off here. Yankees, Angels. What do you have on this one?
Well, I'm not excited about it, but I'm going to have to be on the Yankees in this spot. Facing another. I mean, I just can't even get into this team. I lost so much money on this damn team over the past few weeks, and the spot's pretty similar to this, right? This is really close to the cash cow profile. Now, the problem with it, why it doesn't necessarily fit the cash cow profile, is because this move to the over, this ridiculous move, has not been, usually I want to see a 60. I'm talking cash cow. I'm talking 65% plus on the run line. That's not this situation, but it still is profiling as plus EV on the run line, definitely plus EV on the money line. And how could you not want to back the Yankees in this type of market? We're talking about a team that hasn't scored a damn run with a total of 10, and they're almost minus 300. Lines flying their way. I mean, I should have been on the Angels yesterday. The database told me to be on the Angels. I didn't bet it because I didn't want to be heartbroken if the Yankees won that game. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be moving on the Yankees. I bet the Yankees double result. I got a money line parlay with a play we'll talk about later. And Anderson, I mean, this is the type of pitcher that I continue to scratch my head. I mean, continues to put out quality starts, but he is much worse on the road with the 6.31 ERA, 283 opponent batting average. He has reverse splits, and New York Yankees, I think they have some decent lefties in the lineup today. But then you look at Anderson against this lineup, 112 at-bats, only a 205 batting average. So it's really hard to press and push this Yankees team, but I'm betting it. I mean, it's pretty much I have no other option but to bet this spot, and that's what I'm doing. I mean, I trust Rodon. I bet on him before. He's got a 3.01 ERA, but his xERA is even better than that. You rarely see a guy with such a low ERA with a better xERA, but his xERA is 2.79. He's been quality, whether he's at home, on the road. Angels are 20th for his left-handed pitching over the past month, and they've only seen 11 starting left-handed pitchers, and the only 2 quality left-handed pitchers were Skubal and Rodon, and they blanked him. And Rodon, I think he went 7 innings, 5 hits, 0 earned runs, 10 strikeouts. So I'm hoping he's the stopper. He puts a stop to this Yankees spiral, and Yankees win this game.
Okay, Yankees win for Troy, double result, and a Yankees parlay piece here for Troy. Selfishly, I'm kind of hoping for a 0-0 first 2 innings, and then maybe we could live bet it over in this game. But what do they know, Bobano? The weather does look crazy. Ballpark Pal, shot to you, Spoons. 36% home run plus 36% home runs today at Yankee Stadium. So maybe we'll see a lot of fly balls to get out of the yard here. Bobano, what'd you think?
And I saw that because I have Ballpark Pal too. I have that as a tool that I use for MLB as well. It's a great tool, especially when you're betting totals. I still can't do it, man. They're going to need all the fucking wind and weather and everything else known to man to help this offense, because until I actually see more than 2 runs in a baseball game for the New York Yankees, there's not a chance in hell I'm betting it over 10 or 10.5 or laying minus 285.
Wow, you're kind of making me feel embarrassed about my action, to be honest.
I'm just staying up minus 285. I'm out. I don't want the Angels though either. I mean, I don't trust Tyler Anderson, especially if the weather's volatile like this and it's going to be warm and the wind's going to be blowing out. He can be home run prone in an environment like this. Just there's better games. We can move on. It's a clear pass for me.
Clear pass here.
Does somebody have Tyler Anderson's fly ball numbers? Thinking about this weather, I mean, if he's a fly ball type of pitcher, shit, you could start seeing the Yankees offense open up a little bit with some fly balls that sneak out of the yard simply because of the weather.
Yep, that's what I was kind of figuring as well. So someone in
the weather is huge. Like, it's a huge overspot from a weather standpoint, but
yeah. Let us know in the chat, everyone, about that fly ball rate. We've got to move on to another game starting here in about 10-ish minutes. We've got Rockies Nationals, the game everyone wants to talk about here. Trevor Williams versus Chase Dollinger or Dorlander. I don't know which one it is, actually, but I like Dollander better personally. Interesting line and market here. We'll jump right into it before we pass it off to you guys here. Pittsburgh, 81%. Pittsburgh. We're talking about Colorado, Washington here, actually. 63% of the bets are on the over here. 79% of the money on the under. 50-50 ticket split and almost 50-50 money split. 51% of the money on Los Rockies here. I've seen the line open minus 154, minus 152-ish, and it's still around that same thing. Bobano, any thoughts on this game starting here in about 10 minutes?
I can't believe I've been betting the Rockies every day this week, but it's I have been doing that, and it's been working out quite well for me here. And I'm going to take them again. I just have to with this. Washington's god-awful. Colorado's got a little pep in their step finally. You're going to give me another minus 160 to fade Washington. I will gladly go the other way once again. So I am on the Rockies here. I know Doubleheader is a work in progress. There's no question. Very raw as far as his development's concerned. And his numbers overall, 6.66 ERA, not anything to write home about. He's given up 9 runs in his last 9 innings. I get all that, but Washington cannot hit right now. Their offense has been dormant during this 10-game losing streak. And there have been a few good starts on the road for Doubleheader. You look at before the Atlanta game where he gave up the 4 runs, and even then, one of them was unearned. So 3 earned runs in 6 innings is not that bad in Atlanta in his last start. And then in Miami, he only gave up a couple runs. He only gave up 1 run against Arizona on the road, 2 runs against Texas on the road. So he has been certainly capable as far as on the road. He showed some capability at least to be solid. I'm not a big Trevor Williams fan. Now, to his credit, he's pitched a little bit better the last 2 starts, but still a 5.32 ERA overall for him in his last 5 starts. The Nationals have lost each of his last 3 starts here as well. I think there's a good chance that continues here today. Like I said, I like what I'm seeing of this Colorado team. Hell, even their bullpen, like Marquez only went 5.2 innings in the game the other day or yesterday, the first game. And then, of course, you saw what happened the game before that. Their starters still aren't going deep, and all of a sudden the bullpen is actually starting to get some outs, later in games. So, yeah, for me, it's just continue to fade the Nats and look at this Rockies team. We've got a little momentum going. So, plus 150 is the best price right now, Colorado.
Plus 150, Colorado here, official for Bobano. Troy, anything for you?
I don't have anything in this game, but I have a few notes. Ron Crawford, I think it was, dropped in the chat that the Nats are 0-9 straight up as home favorites this season.
Yep.
If you look at this price range with teams that are under 500, looking in the database, they do not perform well, especially with this high of a total. Now, if you remove that variable, I can manipulate this profile to show value on both sides. But my issue, I'm struggling to trust the Rockies. I bet them in game 1, 2. I didn't bet them yesterday. Are they really going to be able to pull off a sweep? All right, and they're going to be traveling back home after this. I'm not going to be betting this game. Both pitchers are expected to have some favorable regression. Obviously, Doubleheader, the rookie, he should have a good game here because the Washington bats are the most dead they've been all season, the most dead in the league at this point. And Trevor Williams, 5.71 ERA with a 3.97 xERA. Usually when I see that, I just want to bet them automatically. So I do lean towards the Nats, but there's no way I'm going to be betting the Nationals. I'm not going to catch a falling knife. And I guess if gun to my head, if I really had to make a play in this game, it'd be on the Rockies.
Okay. The Rockies lean for my guy, Troy. Let's bring on our guy, Stacks, one more time here. He's giving out his second stacks here. Justin, my man, it's nice to see you. My man, what are you on here? Your stacks play number 2.
Yeah, I thought this was simple. I'm on the over, 9.5 minus 106. I like the weather. I think it was, when I seen it this morning, it was either the second or the first behind Minnesota as far as the weather and ballpark. I just like runs. I don't like Dollinger. I don't like Williams. I thought this was simple. Last game went under. Let's go up and over 9.5 minus 106.
Yeah,
Funny you mentioned that, Justin. I took the over in this game. I didn't feel initially like I wanted to double up on this game because I like Colorado more than the over, but I'm going to put the over on my card as well, Jose. Over 9.5 minus 115 because I do like it. The fear I have is this fucking Nationals lineup. It's so bad right now. But I think the Rockies will hit Williams and this Nats bullpen. Can you get enough from the Nats here? And Doubleheader he's been okay on the road at times, but he's still someone that, would I be shocked if he gives up 5 runs today? Not totally. But I think the Rockies will score their share as well. So I will take a shot with that over 9.5, minus 115.
Let's go.
All right. Beautiful work there, gentlemen. This game's about to kick off. By the way, 2-1 Cincinnati Reds. They went down 1-0 with a Buxton home
Let's
run.
go, Reds. And the over
runs.
Start too.
And
Yeah,
runs.
Perfect start.
Right. I'm not on the side, so let's go runs. I don't mind if the Reds win 35-1.
Well, hopefully, let's get that 35-1 victory on.
Long Perez get two bases.
I hope for your sake he does. He lined out. It was a hard hit ball on his first at bat, so it would be
I know. I tuned into his bats on my TV.
If there wasn't a guy at first base, I would have hoped he got a hit for you. But since there was a guy at first, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I was watching that and then going back and forth with Gorgie.
That's funny. Shout out to both of you guys. And those chat bets always make me nervous. So be careful, Justin, out there. Be careful.
Gorgie weird.
My guy Justin, that's your last stacks play.
Yeah,
today.
that's my second stat. I ain't got no more bets.
Well, I thank you, Justin. If you have anything else, you're more than welcome to jump on here with us. Follow him on Twitter, AJ McKelvey. He doesn't know his Twitter handle, but you'll find him.
Yes, I do. It's 1378, I think.
There we go. Justin knows his Twitter handle. Shout out to you, Justin. We'll see you here. We'll see you here very shortly.
All right.
See you, Justin.
Beautiful.
That'll be the last time I'm seeing him because I'm only on for another couple minutes. But yeah,
that is true, Bobano. Yes, you're about to leave us as well here, Bobano. Did you want to give out anything on your MLB card here before we say adieu to you?
Yeah, let's do a couple more that I like I think are worthy to be best bet. Let's go with another day game.
Sure.
How is Jameson Taillon and the Cubs this cheap today? I like what I'm seeing out of Jameson Taillon right here for the Cubs right now. 5-0 are the Cubs in his last 5 starts. He's got a sub-2 ERA over his last 5 starts, Jameson Taillon, here for this Cubs team. And we know they played great all season in this ballpark, 24-12 home record at Wrigley Field. I think it's a cheap price with a very good Cubs team. And Peralta, there's some warning signs with Freddie Peralta here a little bit. His xFIP and FIP and some of his peripherals don't match his ERA. There's signs that he's going to get hit at some point, not pitching as well as his overall ERA would indicate. I think that could happen here. Now, what does concern me is he's pitched against the Cubs very well. 3 starts since the beginning of last year. He's really done well against this Cubs team. But the way I see this here is this is a very, very reasonable price with the Cubs at home, with Taillon, who's pitching very well. They've won each of his last 5 starts. 5-0 run with Taillon starting for the Cubs. And I can get as low as minus 120 with the Cubs here. I will take it. So Chicago Cubs minus 120 against Milwaukee. I will add that. As far as other official play, I was going to move on the Jays to sweep the Diamondbacks. It's moved too much. It's minus 160 now. I mean, it's a huge move to the Jays. The value's gone. I want to fade Nelson. I'm not a big fan of Ryan Nelson. I'm just not loving what I'm seeing, honestly, from the Arizona lineup either, quite honestly, right now. But the Blue Jays, we know they've been hitting. We know this he gets shredded and ripped apart all the time, Schneider, but you also got to give him credit when he does something right. And he's got this Bichette, Barger, Vlad Guerrero, top 3 going in the lineup now, and it's made all the difference in the world. And they're really connecting now at the top of that lineup. So, like I said, I'm on the Jays, but at a much better price. I'm not making it official now. And I will leave you guys with one more side. I mean, Houston, I lean a little bit to the Astros team total over tonight against Oakland. I got to stop saying that. The Athletics, the A's. I was on it last night, over 5.5 Houston team total, and it easily got there. Luis Severino is the easiest pitcher to handicap in baseball.
Home road guy.
Sacramento, and you bet him on the road. That's exactly what you do right there with him, and it continued again last night. But I will go with, so I lean that way again, Houston team total over, but I will not make that one official. I will go with the Rays again versus Tampa. You're going to keep giving me Tampa at home with this pretty good price against Baltimore, who just and I'd worry about the hangover for Baltimore. You're up 8-0 in the second inning yesterday, and
that
you
hurt.
lose that game. 12-8, they gave up 12. unanswered runs and lost 12-8 yesterday. I'm happy because I was on Tampa again yesterday.
The O's with the $10,000 parlay that just
Terrible,
needed
man.
the O's
That's
on the
terrible.
money line.
That's awful.
I was on the O's
Absolutely
as well.
terrible.
Disgusting.
It's a terrible loss. Bullpen's been bad all year for Baltimore, but you would still think you're fucking safe with an 8-run lead, and somehow you weren't.
They got out hit like 3-1. I mean, it was like 20 hits to 7 at the end of the game.
Terrible loss.
I didn't feel like I had bad variance like I usually would if I lost an 8-run lead.
Yeah, terrible loss for Baltimore. Season going. I don't think it's going anywhere. I keep waiting for this run to give them some kind of hope that they can get back into contention, but I just don't see it, especially in this division now where all of a sudden Tampa's rolling, Toronto's playing good. Don't forget about Boston. They trade Devers and they're starting to win baseball games now. Make sense of that, if you will. But all of a sudden, this AL East is getting pretty competitive, but Baltimore's all alone, lagging behind.
Yeah.
Opportunity to make up ground because of the Yankees' struggles, and they're just not doing it. And a loss like that, I worry about the hangover, and I'm a big fan of Rasmussen. And obviously Morton, I don't mind fading old man Morton here for Baltimore. And, of course, you got Rasmussen for Tampa, who's been very, very solid and very, very consistent all year. So to get a minus 125 at BetMGM with Tampa Bay, I'm totally fine laying a price that cheap with the Rays here tonight.
All right. Beautiful, Bobano. I thank you for your service here today. A quick breakdown or a quick review of your action here, Bobano, just so I have your prices here. Alouettes team total over 27.5, minus 110. Rough Riders money line, minus 165. BC plus 3.5, minus 115. The Rockies plus 150 money line. Rockies over 9.5, minus 115. The Cubs money line, minus 120. And the Rays minus 125. Correct, sir?
That's all correct. You got it. Yep.
Beautiful, Bobano. Can you let the people know about Hating the Books, where they can find you next?
You can find me next. Today, it's funny. I'm going to record Football Frenzy to preview CFL Week 3 in just a little bit. That'll be posted late this afternoon. Other than that, no more shows today. We'll be back tomorrow. Actually, no, that's not true. I got the NBA Finals, Game 6, with Ski Profit, Dutch, and Wham Bam later on, Trot Wham. So looking forward to that. We'll break down Game 6, 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. Pacers and Thunder, as the Thunder look to close it out, their first NBA championship. So this afternoon, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, NBA OG Crew betting show with that. And tomorrow I'll be on with Connor Mack, MLB, hitting the books Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So Troy, good luck. Good to see you again. Hope you're getting ready for NFL. That's your bread and butter, my friend. And I know you're already preparing, right?
Give me anxiety, Bobano. Starting to give me anxiety.
You're going to rock it again. And I can't wait for NFL. And I know you can't because you absolutely love the NFL. It's going to be here before you know it. So, Troy, good luck. Jose, thanks as always. Everyone in the chat, good luck with your bets. We'll see you next week.
We will see you soon, my guy, Bobano. One goes out, Troy. Another comes in. Let's just start singing it, Troy. Let's arm in arms just start singing it. Go, Cubs, go. Go, Cubs, go. Because we have more Cubs fan joining. Here comes Mr. Morgan Spooner joining the program here. Mr. Morgan Spooner joining in here. My guy, nice to see you here. Nice to see you, Spoons. How are you?
I'm doing well. Great to be on screen with you, Troy. Jose, good luck today. Bobano, love your action. Great stuff hearing you guys so far. Got 4 bets already locked in. I broke the whole card down last night. I'm ready to get going.
Okay, well, beautiful work here.
What's next,
Billy, I'm sorry for not asking Bobano. I apologize trying to get him out of here. This guy's a busy man. He's got places to be, but you know where to find his NBA action there, my friend. So apologies. Nice to see you, though. Let's get into the double headers, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, Spoons, I should ask you first. Action? Do you have any action going on right now or any action in the game we talked about?
So that Orioles and Rays game was the first game I believe I had action in that you guys already hit.
We'll talk about that game fully here later, so don't worry about that one. Any of the games in the morning?
Nope. I don't have any early action right now.
Okay, beautiful. Home run Twins, 2-run home run. Clemens, I don't know which Cody or whichever Clemens it is, but 3-2 now Twins. Crushed. And TJ says, nice job with Kyle Kerms last night. Spoon. Shout out to our guy, Kyle. Nice guy, apparently. So shout out to him. Let's get into it. I'm excited to see what you guys have to do with this card here. I'm not going to call you guys. I guess I should call you guys Chicago Cappers, even though Spoon's an Ohio guy. But 2 Chicago Cappers breaking it down for us. Let's talk about these double headers. Now, this game, I believe, is already delayed in Pirates Tigers here. We're already delayed again here. So I don't know if this game goes, but I would like to quickly touch on it. Skubal versus Heaney. Ridiculous -325 price. Everyone knows what I think about these -300s. Market in this game, 81% of the bets are on Detroit, 60% of the money on the Pittsburgh Pirates, 83% of the bets, 89% of the money on the under. We've gone from -300 to -350 in this game. Troy, did you have any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I do, and I kind of agree with you. You look at the history of this type of market, home faves of -300 or bigger. Stand alone without any other variables being included, you're looking at a good, 46-13 straight up, 39-20 on the run line, and 32-24 to the over. However, when you start looking at these low totals that kind of indicate that we should see a pretty good start out of Heaney, it gets a lot closer. A total less than 8. Now you're looking at 11-4 straight up, 9-6 on the run line, 9-5 to the over. And if the matchup is out of conference, it's straight 50-50, 2-2 straight up, 4-0 to the over. And if you take the filter off low totals and just look at out of conference home favorites of -300 or bigger, 8-1 to the over the past 3 years.
Jesus.
Pittsburgh on the road is a dog of 250 or more, 4-7 straight up, 6-5 on the run line. But if the total's less than 8, 1-2 straight up, 3-0 to the over. And the Tigers at home as home favorites of -200 or more, 9-3 straight up, 6-6 on the run line, 7-3 to the over. And if the total's less than 8, they're 8-2 straight up, 5-5 on the run line, 5-3 to the over. So basically, all those numbers I just told you says there's value on the Pirates in this situation, be it run line. Even though you look at these big prices that I was talking about, right? 11-4 straight up, you think that's a profitable play, right? 11-4, oh, that sounds good. But when you look at the break-even probabilities, it's not looking that sharp. Skubal, what can you say? He's the top 3 pitcher in the league. I think Skeens is the best. I wish this was a Skeens first Skubal start.
Yeah, these ad managers are fucking assholes for not doing that. They're dickheads for doing it.
Dickheads, bro. Dickheads. But they're trying to guarantee a win, right? They're trying to guarantee themselves a win. That's what it seems like to me. Pittsburgh, 30th versus left-handed pitching over the last month. And Detroit, 2nd versus left-handed pitching over the past month. I don't really care. Like, I trust this database. I trust this sample. I'm taking the over 7. I bet it at +100 early in the morning. I only put a half unit on it, but I am on the over.
On the over there. And you're only making full unit plays official here, right, Troy? Totally up to you. So you just let us know.
Make it official. Make it official. I've always made my half unit plays full units on this show, so you can make it official.
All right, the over 7 here. What'd you get?
+100.
Even money on over 7. By the way, Mike Trout just goes yard there, 1-0 Angels. What a square, easy home run parlay it would be today. A Trout Judge home run parlay. What a square, easy parlay that would be seemingly today. So we will see. Spoons, my man, any action on this game? Big favorite.
I did not have action, but when I saw you could get a +2 with the Pirates at plus money, it really intrigued me. You're paying -350 plus for Skubal, and you're expecting him to have a good regular start. He's already being thrown off routine right now. This game's delayed. How long do you go? This is Detroit's best arm. They're not going to put him in a bad situation. So he's already warmed up once. That's pitches on his arm. He's got to do the whole warm-up routine again. I think this is going to be a shortened start. I think there's a lot of value with the Pirates. I'm not going to bet it, though. I got enough money on the card today.
After listening to the breakdowns, Pirates team total over 2.5. Doesn't seem too bad. Plus money there for that 2.5 as well. So pretty nuts there. So I'll move on. No action here for me. We can roll into the second game. This double header is Paul Skeens versus blank. Don't know who is going for the Tigers yet, but Paul Skeens is the favorite here. No, it's a tough game.
Montero. Jose.
Oh, okay, there we go. Beautiful. Montero. Thank you, my guy, Troy. I personally, I'm a huge advocate of fading Paul Skeens. It's been pretty successful for me. A Tigers team that could be argued is the best team in baseball at plus money. I wouldn't hate that at all, but I, as you guys know, need to watch the first game, need to see who gets used in the bullpen and all that good stuff. And we might not even see this game go today because it's already delayed once. So, Spoon, did you have any thoughts on this game?
I looked at the Pirates -1 here. Troy said it in that last breakdown. Each team, they robbed us of a really good pitching matchup, a really good game. With a doubleheader between the Tigers and Pirates, it's a shame, but I think each team is really trying hard to win one game. I don't think there's any value in parlaying that together with the amount that's on the Tigers right now. But Pirates -1 with a low total right here looked really good. Just the weather today, I don't know. I don't like to get into game twos unless I have a really strong feel for it. And I'm not quite sure what's going to happen in this game one.
I am in agreement with both of you there. So we'll move right along to our second double header here. White Sox, Cardinals here. Troy, you seem perturbed over there. What's going on? You saw something you didn't like?
I see the score of the Twins game.
Yes, 4-2 Cincinnati, or excuse me, 4-2 Mr. Twins here to start the game off. We'll see how that goes here. It looks like you just saw a ghost there. I was worried for you there, Troy, for a second. I was worried. But Cardinals, White Sox here. Eric Fetty, Sean Burke here. The good side of this pitching matchup here. Everyone knows that I'm a Sean Burke believer and backer, but admittedly do have a sour taste after taking the White Sox the other day and getting their shit pumped in that first 5 bet. 64% of the bet, 78% of the money on the St. Louis Cardinals here. We have no total information, unfortunately, here. This line has not moved much. I'm seeing at Penny it opened up -137. I'm going to do a quick refresh here. I'm seeing 137 up to -138, so not much of a movement. Where we used to play poker, the same thing, -135, -136 opener. So it's not much movement in this game. I'm semi-interested in the White Sox, but I just can't get back on the wagon here after that shit pumping. Maybe it's just me being a mental midget. Who knows? Troy, what do you think?
Yeah, I do not want to get involved in this game. You got two pitchers who are expected to regress unfavorably. Fetty's been this way the entire season. You really haven't seen a change in the splits between his actual and his expected ERA, which you usually see massive changes, especially, I'm thinking about a lot of pitchers on today's menu that we've seen massive changes that I'm going to touch on later in the card. The White Sox haven't been able to touch right-handed pitching, 30th over the past month. And at St. Louis is the same, 27th. These are two bottom 5 teams, first right-handed pitching over the last few games. The market, really small sample. I don't want to touch on it too much. It slightly favors the Cardinals, but when you compare it to the break even, it's not that there's not that much value there. It's not something that's raising my eyebrow at all. I expect the Cardinals to win this game. I don't have any conviction. I'm passing.
Passing for Troy. Spoons, what'd you think?
I looked at the White Sox first 5 here. I think there is a lot of value with Sean Burke. If you look at it, I think he's pitched 17 innings at home this year, and he's only given up maybe a combined 4 or 5 runs. This is the guy that, like you said, he has not pitched up to his ability in the last few starts, but he's shown you he is a good pitcher, and I think he's more comfortable here at home. The Cardinals are going to have to spread the lineup out between 2 games. I think this is a good spot to get a little value on the first 5 with the White Sox. I got really close to it. I haven't bet it. It's a +130. It's just too much juice to really associate it. The +0.5, and I don't really want to do the money line. So I laid off it. Don't want to spend too much time on it.
All right, nothing for you guys here, nothing for me, and I assume the same feelings in game 2 of this doubleheader. Michael McGreevy, Mike Vassell here. This could be 2 created players in MLB The Show, and I'd believe you because these guys are not real human. They're like, the theory that everyone's just AI, you're the main character. These guys are fucking computer-generated players that I've Have no interest in putting my money on here. If you guys quickly want some McGreevy notes here, McGreevy is a AAA arm here. He's getting called up. His last start in the majors was on the 8th, so about 11 days ago. 6 innings, 4 earned runs against the Dodgers, 5 2/3, 1 earned run against the Mets last month on the 4th, so quite a while ago. Vassell has pitched some games for the White Sox already here, so it's not like we haven't seen him before, but we'll see him for 4 innings, maybe 4 innings, 4 innings, 2 earned run. 4 innings, 2 hits. No earned runs was his last performance against the Texas Rangers at the Rangers on the 14th. So I don't really want to trust this guy to go back-to-back 4-inning good starts here. So I laid off pretty easily in this game here as well. There's no market information in this game either. So Spoons, did you have any thoughts on this game before we roll on?
I actually bet this game. Cardinals -1. Michael McGreevy, he's got 7 pitches. This is a guy, I think he matches
I
up
should have
really
known.
well.
I should have known that you were going to take this game, Spoons, because this is a young pitcher. You love these guys.
So they offer us value. The unknown always offers value in the betting spaces because the books also don't know. You can only get so far ahead of the curve, and I think there's a pitcher that really has all the intangibles to be successful at the major league level. This is a White Sox lineup. I think anybody that's reached the major leagues can pitch successfully against. This is going to wind up being a lot of innings from a White Sox bullpen I don't trust. I look at this as a spot for the Cardinals to get a nice, easy win. I'm on the Cardinals -1.
What price did you get on that?
Let me pull it up real quick.
Oh, no worries. And Troy, I'm going to ask you for your prices for all your action here soon. I know you don't have anything in this game, correct? Nothing for Troy. You're muted, but I got the message either way. Nothing for Troy here. Let's roll on here. Spoon, shoot me that odds price there whenever you can here.
I got -135 on it.
-135. Beautiful. All right. The main event. Game everyone wants to talk about on this panel. Cubs Brewers. Yes, it is not Jacob Mizorowski anymore. Yes, it is Freddie Peralta now in the bump. Some people on this panel call him Fastball Freddie. A lot of people on this panel also, I'm sure, don't love this guy. Now, Troy, I think you said in the chat, this is his first trip to Wrigley in 4 years.
I have over 3 years. I might have said it wrong. So it's been
Over
since
3?
2022.
Okay, let me tell you right now. I just looked it up. I hate to break. He pitched once in 24 there. So he's
Really?
got his last appearances against the Cubs, 6 innings shutout on the last year. Actually, this year already on the 4th of last month. 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run.
Yeah, but he hasn't pitched in Wrigley.
Yeah, I have him pitching at Wrigley on the 24 last year on the 5th
Of June?
Yes. I'm looking at this one right now. 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs. Wrigley Field.
Oh, I do. 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs. I do.
So that's the only game from 2022 that he's pitched, and it was it wasn't good, it wasn't bad. 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 3 hits, 6 walks was the big outlowing factor in that game. So fascinating. He's dominated the Cubs, but again, it's all been at home. 4-0 win, 7-0 win, or 7-1 win, a 3-6 loss. That loss in Wrigley, and a 6-5 win there. So I'm fascinated to see how he does, and I'm very interested to see what you guys think of old Fastball Freddie here. Just since I have this up, not a soul in this lineup has hit him well, except for the new guys. PCA, new guy, 400, 5 at-bats, 2 hits. And Kyle Tucker, 5 at-bats, 4 hits, a double, and a walk here, hitting 800 for your consideration there, people. By the way, 1-1, as Aaron Garza is saying in Yankees Angels here. The runs are coming here. Market in this game at Cubs Brewers here. Let's start here. 50% of the bets each way money line, 71% of the money on the Milwaukee Brewers, 70% of the bets on the under, 51% of the money on the under here. Troy, well, this is obviously your squad. I'm sure you could take a 10-minute Uber ride to Wrigley Field right now if you wanted to. What'd you think about this game, Jameson Taillon versus old fastball Freddie?
It's not true. Getting to the north side from the south side is a hike and a lot of traffic to go through. I love this game. I really wish we had the rookie on the mound, Mizorowski, in his first start. I really was hoping to take advantage. I was loaded up on him yesterday, and the game didn't come to fruition. So I got all that money back to just reinvest it today. Now, I didn't put all the money. I had like 3-4 units on him yesterday. Today, right now, it's just one, but I'm looking for a specific closing number that I like to see a close over minus 124. And right now, at the book I use is at minus 131. I know Pinnacle, I know a few other books are below that, but this is the one that my database is based on. So this is the one that's relative to me. If we close minus 124 or bigger, we're talking about 70% straight up trends. Currently, we're still in the 60% ranges, right?
And you said that was minus 124 we have to finish above?
Correct.
Okay. Sorry, keep going.
Correct. Minus 124. And if that's the case, I'm going to be watching closely in the next 30 minutes or so. I'll be adding 1 unit to this play. Yeah, Peralta, I mean, he's a great pitcher. There's no doubt about it. 2.60 ERA, it's pretty impressive. Even his 3.52, which is significantly worse than 2.60, is impressive. His xERA is pretty impressive still. His numbers throughout his entire career have always been slightly worse on the road. And look at him this season. Who has he seen on the road? Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, the White Sox. He pitched in Giant Stadium, which is a very favorable situation. The only tough lineup he's seen was Arizona. He does have great numbers against the Cubs. There's no lie about that. But, I guess there's one start in the past 3 years. And that start, we had, Madrigal batting fifth. We had Tauchman batting second, Morel in the 3-hole, no Bellinger. I mean, yeah, I want to see this guy pitch on the road versus a quality lineup. We're going to get to see him today, and the line's moving towards the Cubs. And it's a great market history in divisional matchups to be on the home team in this situation. I think Taillon is every bit as good as what Peralta has shown this year. 3.48 ERA, 3.67 xERA. Obviously, lights out at home. Pretty solid numbers against this Brewers lineup. And the Brewers lineup is significantly worse than the Chicago Cubs. Give the Cubs a day off. Let their bullpen get a little bit more healthy. Everybody's available. There's no doubt about it. I mean, this is a Cubs money line spot. I bet it at minus 112 this morning, and I did make for a full unit. I did make notes that I plan on grabbing more, which is still the case if we get a close above my magic minus 124. And we talk about what books we like to track. I use 2 books. I use Pinnacle and I use DraftKings, and I do that for a few different reasons. But those seem to be the most relative books to get a look at, what most majority of sharp bettors or recreational bettors are getting their lines at.
Okay, well, beautiful. That was a great breakdown, Troy. I might be joining you with the Cubs here, minus 112 for you, Troy. Spoons, your Cubs, get away.
I gotta apologize. They're doing the yard work right behind me right now, so I can hear lawnmowers and stuff going off. Hopefully, it's not too bad. Jameson Taillon.
We can't hear it, so no worries.
Jameson Taillon, 0.84 whip versus lefties. And I look at this Brewers lineup. The bats I'm worried about are lefties. I think this is a spot where an under is just live. I have a lot of respect for Freddie Peralta. He's always pitched well against the Cubs. Wrigley today is the most pitcher-friendly field, according to Ballpark Pal, minus 11% home runs and minus 6% runs overall. That's just the weather effect. If you add in the park that Wrigley is, it's actually minus 20% home runs and minus 14% runs overall. So I believe this is just a spot both pitchers can pitch well. I ended up staying off. When you have a guy like Taillon who warmed up to pitch yesterday, I don't know. I ended up just not wanting the variance. I skipped this game.
Okay, fair enough. No action for Spoons here. Thank you for those beautiful breakdowns. Troy, I think I'm going to join you on the Chicago Cubs. Something I struggle with at times when hosting these shows is I'm so focused on recording your guys' action and making sure I have all you guys' action squared away. I forget to get in action myself, and I want to set these games up for you guys. So Cubs, money line will be on my card here. Let's roll on here. And Spoons, I'm going to ask you for a favor in this game. Molly the dog is seemingly about to shit her pants. So, Spoons, I'm going to pop away real quick. Can you intro this Texas Rangers and Royals game and break it down with our guy, Troy Torrance here?
Yeah, I got you, Jose.
Thank you. I'll be right back. And by the way, Justin, good question about Troy chewing his hoodie strings. We need to cut him off for him. Who knows?
Oh, so we got Michael Wacha on the bump for the Kansas City Royals and Sean Armstrong on the bump for the Rangers. This is a game where I think the Royals have a lot of potential value. Michael Wacha, a guy that looked really bad in his last start versus the Athletics, but on the course of the season, he's shown the ability to pitch well. This Rangers stadium has not been a place a lot of teams score run. The Rangers bats are 26 WRC plus overall at home on the season, so it's not a place that they hit well either. They have been hitting righties a little bit better recently, so that gives me a little bit of propensity to stay off. Sean Armstrong's the big X factor in this game for me. What can you expect from him? And I think you can get 5 innings of decent baseball. These Royals bats are swinging pretty good right now. I think the addition of the young rookie there is huge for that lineup. Overall, I just lean Royals. I didn't get to a bet with this. Troy, did you get into anything with this game? I'm trying to pull the market numbers up. I didn't have them. I'll touch on
Yes. Yeah, I could pull up. I could talk about the market just a little bit. So yeah, this line I got it opened at -120. I got a 7-cent move towards the Rangers. Total opened 8.5, and it's moving towards the under. It's currently 8 at a -110, so no vig on the total. Cash flow, 57% of bets, 54% of money. I know you guys have been using odds logic, but this is where I keep the history. So that's what my number is based on. And I profile this game as a spot to back the Rangers. I know the Royals have been hot. I think the Royals are going to struggle to pull off a road sweep. I don't think they're that type of team. They're better than they've shown throughout the season, but they're certainly not a team that goes on the road and sweeps teams very frequently. I know Wacha's been great, but he's also much worse on the road. 4.41 ERA, 281 opponent batting average. He has terrible numbers versus this lineup. And since May on the road, 23 innings pitched, 28 hits, 12 earned runs. That's against the White Sox, Minnesota Twins, Baltimore Orioles when they were absolutely dreadful. I think he's going to be vulnerable in this spot. I don't know exactly what to expect from Armstrong in the with Latz as the primary, but I don't expect this Royals lineup to do very much today. The market is definitely in favor of the Rangers in the spot. I'm hoping to see right now. I got a half unit on the Rangers. I bet it at -120 this morning, but I do plan on adding to that position if we close in the -130 range, which I think we do. Most of the samples of teams that open in this price range move towards the home team at like 62% clip, and they land around 130, and that's what I hope to see. If I see that, I'm going to be rounding out that position to a full unit. But I do like the Rangers in the spot. Texas in the last game of a home-to-road series. So this is their last game before they go out on the road. 4-2 straight up. The 2 losses against the Dodgers and the Houston Astros by a combined 2 runs. They lost both games by 1 run. And Kansas City Royals, they've been pretty good in this spot from a road-to-road series. They're going out on the road after this game. And I just like the Rangers in the spot. I find it interesting to find the Rangers as favorites against Wacha with Armstrong, without a starting pitcher on the mound. So yeah, I'm on the Rangers.
Rangers for old Troy here. Spoons, what were you on again? I'm sorry. I was walking the dog. You're muted, unfortunately.
I didn't have a bet in this game. I leaned Royals. I think Wacha's the better pitcher. It's just a little bit more of a spot that I can rely on. These Royals bats with the rookie, I just think are a lot better than what they showed us at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. So our guy Kyle is back in the chat. Nice to see you, Kyle, saying the Royals bats on the road have cooked me too many times this year. I don't know how this team keeps hitting on these road games. I, for one, was a little surprised at this line. Again, I thought this would be -125 Royals. By the way, 2-1 Angels in that Yankees game. Joe Adell hit a home run. But man, I just could not believe that the Rangers were favored here tonight, and it made me feel like maybe they're favored for a reason. Maybe Walker struggles here. Troy, you read off your Action Network numbers. I'll just quickly mention that 58% of the bets, 60% of the money. Sorry, 58% of the bets on Texas, 60% of the money on Kansas City. So fascinating spots, but I don't think it'll be a move for me. I think it'd be Rangers or pass, just based off where this line opened up at and where we're seeing it now. So nothing here for me. Let's keep it rolling here, gentlemen, and let's talk about the game. Bobano mentioned the Toronto Blue Jays versus the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Blue Jays, quiet as it's kept, only 1.5 games back from first place of the AL East, which is very surprising. Did not expect that this year. Honestly, expected these teams to be kind of flopped. The Diamondbacks, are in a struggle spot, and it looks like they will probably end up being sellers at the trade deadline. This line opened up minus 135-ish, has gone up to minus 150. Home run, by the way, Gavin Lux, 2-run home run, 7-4. Never say never, Troy Torrance.
Well, my teams lose with 8-run leads.
Yes.
The last time I was on this show, I had the Diamondbacks come back down 6 in the 9th. On a plus 50 Braves double result. That was painful.
King, let's get some little luck our way here, because I was on that Orioles as well, and it's so funny. I'm sure, like you, Troy, when it was 8-0 in the second inning, I was like, okay, mark it down on my spreadsheet, victory. And then later I was like, oh my God, are you serious? What a fucking pain. But we need some of that on our side here. This line went up from minus 155 to minus 135 to minus 150, minus 156 here. Seems like our guy, Kevin Gausman, is going to pitch well here. And I typically do not want to back our guy, Ryan Nelson, here either. Gausman, by the way, splits here. Home 3.31 ERA, road 4.66. Struggles a little more against righties with a 2.43 batting average, 199 from lefties, but they have 7 home runs compared to righties, 3 home runs. So very interesting. Spoons, would love to hear your thoughts on this game. Toronto, Arizona.
I initially had a lean to the over with these two pitchers. I think the roof is going to be closed, and I don't necessarily want to get involved with totals with this park if that roof's not open. Kevin Gausman, I heard you just say his better splits at home than the road, but if you add a little bit of context to that, he's gotten touched in 2 of his home starts quite badly. Gave up 6 runs to the Tampa Bay Rays in 5 2/3, and 3 runs in 4 2/3 to the Athletics. In that game, he allowed 10 base runners, even though there's only 3 earned off of him. I think this is a spot the Diamondbacks can really touch Gausman. Ryan Nelson, I don't have the trust for him. I can't do it. But these Diamondbacks versus right-handed pitching, they're number 2 on the season overall in weighted runs created. Plus, on the road, they're 5th. This is just a really good offense. I think they can get to the Jays bullpen as well. So I have a strong lean to that over, but without the roof being open and the confirmation, I ended up staying off it.
Troy, any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I like this game. So I tracked this Blue Jays team. I was on them yesterday. The reason I track their home games is because there's a very, very outlier type of market where they perform terribly. And it's this one today. When they're public home favorites, specifically when they're favorites, because when they're public home dogs or even they're just perform way better. And that's surprising, right? Because you think public home dogs, you want to fade them. Not necessarily in this case. The Blue Jays at home as public home favorites have been awful over the past 3 seasons. If you filter it down to just Gausman starts, he's 0-4 straight up. And in all of those games, the average price of those games is minus 157. So it's very similar to the line we're looking at today. The market-wide profile, now this has changed, so I'm not going to read this off. I haven't done the market-wide profile, but I'm looking at the Diamondbacks. And it's funny that we get a market like this because the last time the Diamondbacks were priced like this with the line moving away from them, they played the Braves and they won 11-10 and came back in the 9th inning down 6 runs. Crazy that game came up because there it is right there. I'm looking at the sample of this market. The The Diamondbacks are 9-4. They're 4-2 this season, beating the Braves twice, the Phillies, the Mets, the Dodgers. Oh, no, they lost that game to the Dodgers, but they're beating quality teams on the road in this type of spot. I tend to believe a lot like Spoon. I think that what we're seeing from Gaussman at home is not sustainable, especially if you look throughout his career. Typically, he's much worse in Toronto. So all of a sudden this year, he's going to, he's posting better numbers. I think those are likely to regress. Now he has those reverse splits, right? And that's kind of concerning. 199 opponent batting average versus lefties. And he's got good numbers versus this lineup. But I tend to want to zag in this situation. I kind of trust Ryan Nelson. I think he's got good stuff. I think he's got a pretty high ceiling for a young pitcher. And I think I'm going to – I zagged in this game. I'm on the D-backs first 5 money line. I bet it at plus 110. You probably get a much better number right now because this line moved against me 24 cents. And I know that in this price range out of conference, it's got to favor the Blue Jays a little bit. So I'm not as bullish as I once was on this play, but I am on the Diamondbacks first 5.
Diamondbacks first 5 money line at plus 110.
And the reason I'm not playing the Diamondbacks full game is because whatever I do with the Diamondbacks full game, I get fucked. Whether their bullpen blows the lead and they're a cash cow and they blow a 6-run lead in the 9th, or they're coming back down 6. I don't want to even deal with the bullpen. I just want to isolate the starting pitching matchup.
Okay, fair enough. By the way, rain delay in New York, but Tyler Anderson's just like out there. So I don't know what the fuck's going on. They put the tarp on and they took it off, I guess. Who the fuck knows what the fuck they're doing in New York, but allegedly a rain delay here. We'll see. No action here.
That's crazy to me, though, that the Diamondbacks priced between minus 175 and minus 150 when the home team's priced minus 175 and 150. Line moving towards the home team. The Diamondbacks on the road, 9-4 straight up, 69%. Like they're winning at that high of a clip. With this,
that just seems weird.
And it's the exact opposite when you toggle it over to the home team being the Blue Jays. So yeah, I guess I would rather put my equity, or, my eggs in the basket of the team-oriented profiles in this dichotomy.
I would agree with that. I don't want to move on this game. I like your action, Troy. And I'm very interested to see what we're going to do here as well. Spoon, thank you for your action here as well. Well, you didn't have any action, but thank you for your breakdown as well here, Spoons, my man. Let's go to our next game. Cleveland, San Francisco. Here we have about 6 games left on the MLB card. So shout out to all you guys here. We'll be talking WNBA and NBA finals here soon. So shout out to you guys. Rolling on into this Gavin Williams, Logan Webb spot, and we'll talk right into the market here as we have big money bets on the under, 80% of the bets, 94% of the money on the under in this game with Logan Webb at home, 81% of the bets, 84% of the money on Logan Webb at home. But this has quietly crept down a little bit. Penny opened it at minus 169, got up to minus 170, minus 172, but it's right back down to 69. Where we used to play poker at minus 175 opener, now minus 170. So a little interesting. There's a lot of bets and money all over the Giants, and the books are just saying, come on, go ahead. Keep betting the Giants. We won't move it. Maybe we'll even make it more interesting for you to bet it. So that's interesting here. I kind of leaned Guardians to begin with. Transparently, Spoons, you'll appreciate this. I was trying to find a pitcher to stream this morning, and I was like, Gavin Williams in San Francisco. All right, I'll pick up Gavin Williams and think he can pitch well here today. There's your little fantasy and that baseball analysis here as well. But I kind of think this is going to be a lower scoring game. 2 offenses I don't love. I think these 2 teams are kind of, mirror images of each other in some aspects, but I kind of lean Guardians here. I was very interested to see what you guys have to say about this one. Troy, I believe you hit second that last game, so I'll let you go first here, Troy. Guards, Giants.
I actually like this game, and you see double U-shaped movement. There's 2 U's in this. At first, it moved towards the Giants. The first move was towards the Giants, came all the way back and started going towards the Guardians from the open, then it came all the way back, and right now it's exactly where it opened. I see that at both books, both Pinnacle and DK, and it really doesn't matter. If you look at this opening price range with this low of a total in non-conference games, the home team's getting the job done at a ridiculous rate. The Giants in that sample are 4-1 straight up. The entire sample runs north of 69% for the home team on the money line. Now, the run line, it's hard to trust in a low total situation like this. The run line's got to kind of regress, in my opinion, being over 60%. Small sample when you're looking out of conference specifically. But I think it's definitely worth noting. And how could you argue with it with the Giants facing a sweep at home with their stopper on the mound, Logan Webb, who I think is about the deal. He's been great at the house throughout his career. He's great this season. There's only one home start all season long where he allowed more than 2 runs, and it was like Kyle Kearns was talking about.
Yeah, the market spot.
Those damn Royals. Royals got to him. And guards versus right-handed pitching, they're 19th. I mean, they're much better than they are versus left-handed pitching. But they faced 7 right-handed pitchers since May. I went back to the start of May, of Webb's caliber, right? Quality pitchers. Freddie Peralta was the only one they got to, and, they were at home in that situation. So can they do it on the road versus Logan Webb and a team desperate for a win? I don't think so. And then you look at Trevor Williams. You can stream him, but eventually he's going to start. He's got regression looming. Regression's coming for this guy. 3.89 ERA, over a 4.5 xERA. He's worse on the road. His only 3 road starts since May. 14 innings pitched, a 1.0 WHIP, and a 5 ERA and 5 earned runs. And the 5 earned runs is exactly where I'm thinking regression is due. And San Francisco, they haven't been. I mean, they're not an elite lineup. Yeah, they've been better at home this season. I don't know if that's going to continue, but I expect them to get to Williams in this spot. And I expect to see an all-in effort. I bet the Giants double result plus 130. And I did parlay them with the very last game on the slate tonight, which is my biggest investment.
Double result was even money?
Plus 130.
Plus 130, excuse me. And Giants.
Let's see what's happened, because usually when you see a game like this with the plus 130, it starts regressing, coming back down pretty quickly. So, but yeah, I'm on the Giants double result.
All right, beautiful stuff there. Double results always make me nervous just because, first 5 innings, you've got to win that shit. Can't tie it. So,
I know.
Shout out to you, Troy. I like the action there, plus 130. By the way, the Angels are non-plus with the umpire behind the plate in New York today. Almost had a guy ejected from the bench in the first inning. Tyler Anderson not pleased with a ball call, which was clearly a strike.
A pitch middle, and you got to hold the ball, which I love to see. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, very much a strike. And another Twins run here. 8
That's
to
how
4.
much I trust. Whenever I say I trust a pitcher like Nick Martinez, please fade me. Please fade me.
Dabby Cab somewhere is sitting there smiling here. By the way, huge at bat for Dabby Cab and Justin and company here. It is Correa coming up. No more, what's his name? Nick Martinez, but Correa coming up. Only needs a single for the guys here. So I'll keep an eye out for you guys there as well. Spoons, we haven't heard your thoughts on this game. Giants guards, what do you think?
Yeah, this is the first game I actually have action in. I'm on the -1 Giants. I align a lot with everything that Troy said here. If you look at the Guardians bats, this is a team that over the last 30 days, they're 26th in baseball in WRC plus, and they're at the bottom of almost every hitting category. I look at this Giants offense. They just added a really good lefty bat. Over the last 2 weeks, they're 12th in WRC plus versus right-handed pitching. They're top 10. This is just a spot where I really think they can get to Gavin Williams. He struggles with righties, and the Giants have a lot of righty bats. There's so many ways I can attack the Guardians here, but the -1 specifically is where I wanted to be. I've been talking to Kyle Kerms about this -1 bet specifically, and we've been comparing it to the -1.5 and then the money line in that same range. And the -140 to the -200 range is the spot where I move it to a -1 because I'm just not willing to pay that juice on it. I think it's too much. You can bring this down to -119, -118, I think. I tweeted it out.
You can get right now Giants -1. Oh shit, yeah, it's starting to get juiced. -125. You can get -120 over here. Okay, so you -120.
Carlos Correa single, by the way. Cash, Justin McKelvey, and Dabby Cab there as well. I'm sure I'll be getting a text message from Cab here in the next 2 minutes saying, I told you so. So continue on.
And I think the value here just lies in the 66 extra pushes you get with that -1, where you would have lost your -1.5. And when we're talking about a park like Oracle, this is just it's a pitcher-friendly place. Logan Webb, while I fully expect him to pitch well, maybe Gavin Williams can channel some stuff and pitch well as well. Guardians are going to win this game, in my opinion, and I'm willing to pay the -1 to get it.
With the Guardians, you mean the Giants?
With the Giants. Giants -1, -118.
And question for you, Spoon. So the -1 opposed to the first 5, -0.5. Any opinions or thoughts on that? Like why the -1 and not just why would you choose to go there? I guess I don't hear you really having first 5 action that often.
So specifically, I just view the breakup of innings as sort of an instant gratification way of looking at it. And that's something I've just tried to remove from my cap as a whole. I think there's some value in some of those spots, especially if you don't like the bullpens or if you think one team's worse. I don't think these Guardians bats are going to get to the Giants bullpen. I think on the full season, you look at the Giants bullpen, they're first in ERA, top 10 in xFIP. This is a good Giants bullpen. I don't see any reason to take them out of it. Between Webb and the bullpen, everything's going to line up well for me. I really believe they win the game.
Giants
position.
Well, Giants for both of you here. I might have to fucking be on the Giants. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, they used Cade Smith, Class A, 2 days in a row. I mean, those are their 2 arms.
Very
Anyone
much
else,
so.
I'm not afeared of. Hunter Gaddis, that guy's a wild card. Could walk 5 runners. Tim Herron's pretty decent. Man, give me the -1 with my guy Spoon.
All right, well, beautiful.
Right now.
And we will get to Troy Torrance's parlay legs as well here. Oh my God, is that another home run? Home run, Yankees 4-2 now. Grisham had a 2-run homer, and then Goldschmidt followed up with a solo.
And that was right after a double play too.
God, these Yankees. 5.5 was right there. I had 5.5 -145 though, so it's pretty gross. And by the way, the Pittsburgh-Detroit game has started here. Base hit.
Perfect example. I don't want to cut you off, but this is so important. Please. I don't want to let it fly. The total in this Yankees game. I know the weather was favorable, but I mean, we're looking at a 10.5. After all these games where they've had terrible offenses, the cash flow is on the under in this spot, right, Jose? I mean, you touched on odds logic. You got the same. I mean, it's more 50-50, but it's the same premise. Like on Action Network, you see 50-50 on a total. You're like, holy shit, everyone's on the under in this spot because it rarely happens. This goes to show you this is why I do what I do with the market and tracking every single market, because the books are up to something. And we're not privy to it. So there's got to be a way, there's got to be a way to get ahead of them.
Agreed there. I mean, it was just a crazy move, the biggest move I've seen this year, basically. So I agree with you there, my man. Let's keep rolling here. And let's go to Philadelphia, Miami. Not a particularly sexy matchup with these two teams, but it is in division battle with the Miami Marlins historically kind of owning the Phillies at -145, -120 here. Again, I would expect the Phillies to be a little bigger of a favorite, so we're semi-interested in the Marlins at a first glance here. Excited to talk about it. 76% of the bets and 79% of the money on the Philadelphia Phillies here. Good Lord. And this line opened up at, let me see here. I'm looking at the wrong game. -179 at Penny, and is now -138. Well, you guys know what side I'm going to be on here. BOL opened up -170. It's at -138 there as well. I'll reemphasize there's 76% of the bets and 79% of the money on the Phillies here. 58% of the bets, 59% of the money on the under in this game here. It's some juice moving towards the over, but Spoons, how are we not on the Marlins here? You tell me.
Initially, when I looked at this game, I'm a Christopher Sanchez fan. I thought this would be a good spot to maybe try to lay that -1 with the Phillies. It was way too expensive. And then looking at the way the market immediately respected Edward Cabrera, I knew that wasn't going to be a spot I was on. The Marlins have been hitting left-handed pitching pretty well over the last month. At home, this stadium can play pretty offensively. I think maybe their bats are live. I don't know if I'd get there with the Marlins money line. I think I might just try to get their team total. You get a little bit of extra value because the bottom of the ninth isn't guaranteed. And them being the dogs, you're probably going to get it anyway. I'm off this game, but there's a lot of respect to the Marlins, I believe, from the market. And I think that's for good reason. So if I was going to have any friends on the Phillies today, I'd ask them to look a little closer at it because they're probably liable to get touched.
You would tell them to reevaluate their life decisions. That's what I'm hearing. Plus 129 for me. And by the way, full transparency, everyone knows that my units are $25. Decided to go a little bigger here. I put $35 on the Miami Marlins here. So watch out, world. Watch out. I do like the Marlins here today. Troy, this game, very interesting. Huge market move in this game. Tell me some good news, please.
I'm going to turn off this TV just because it's distracted me. There's so much action in these first two games that I can't help myself but stare up there. So let me lock in. And I love this game. I mean, I was on both sides of this matchup in a favorable way. You know, I was on the Phillies yesterday, and I made a post about it, a pretty in-depth, detailed post. I reposted on Twitter too, just to kind of share, you know, my thought process when I'm digging through markets and how I look at it. But it's yesterday it was the sharp trap, right? The Phillies were in the sharp trap spot. The bookies were moving the line to discourage action on a certain side. Spoon was in chat talking about it yesterday. I've been talking about it for quite a while now. Sharp trap was yesterday. Today, I mean, it's kind of the same type of line movement, same type of open, right? Is it another sharp trap profile? I don't think it is. And the difference in the matchup is right now we're looking at a total that's less than 8.5, a much lower total than we've seen yesterday, relatively speaking. And you saw sharp action. The big bets yesterday, all the money was on the Phillies. Today, the sharp action is on the other side. It's on the Marlins. 23% of bets, 72% of cash. That completely destroys the sharp trap profile.
Thank God.
Yeah, and I probably would have been on the Marlins, but as I continue to go down the list, you know, checking all the boxes I do for my handicaps, I started to love the total. The low total in this game sticks out like a sore thumb. The Marlins, we know, you know, historically the past few years, they've been a dead nut over team in Miami. Well, that kind of has been changing as of recent. And the low total with Cabrera on the mound, I love it. Like, in all honesty, I think the under in this spot is one of my favorite plays on the board. Even though I've only played the first three under 2.5 for a full unit, I might want to add more to this spot. Sanchez, I trust this guy. This is a guy that has been better on the road and versus left-handed hitters. He's pretty consistently giving you 6 innings of work with less than 3 runs. And usually those runs are coming later in the game. Well, unless he's in a AAA ballpark or in Colorado, which changes the equation completely. Miami, they've been great versus left-handed pitching. 8th in the MLB over the past month, but I talked about it yesterday. They haven't gotten to quality lefties. They have not gotten to quality lefties. I was on the Marlins team total under in addition to my sharp trap action on the Phillies yesterday. And I think Sanchez is another quality starting pitcher. I posted the game log. I don't want to go dig for it up right now, but go look at the game log of Miami versus left-handed pitching and which quality lefties have they gotten to? Maybe one on the season?
Yeah. By the way, Scooble was in problem. He bases loaded 1 out, keep Ryan Hayes up, and he just got a strikeout here. So 2 outs, bases loaded here. We will see Troy to read off some of these lists for you. These are the game logs for the left-handed starters against the Miami Marlins here. Shout out to StatMuse. Ranger Suarez, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. Jesus Luzardo, kind of a different one, 5 innings, 4 earned runs. Mackenzie Gore, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. Mitchell Parker, not really a good lefty, 3 1/3, 6 earned runs. Bailey Falter, 5 1/3, 1 earned run. Kyle Freeland, 6 1/3, no earned runs. Robbie Ray dominated him, 7 innings, 1 earned run. Kyle Harrison, 1 earned run, 5 innings.
And it was Luzardo. Luzardo was the pitcher that they got to.
And there's some familiarity there, obviously.
Yeah, so that was kind of a little bit of a weird psychological spot, right?
Yes.
And actually Luzardo dealt versus them earlier in the season because that was the second time they've seen him, where they haven't seen Sanchez. And if you look at the batter versus pitcher, there's no sample size. So I get it. Like if I had to pick a side in this game, like I'm talking about Sanchez dealing right now, and it's because I like the under, obviously. But I do think that the Marlins are extremely live in this game, and it's because I think this Cabrera kid, I think he has elite upside. I think he's somewhat like Ben Brown, where he's kind of struggling with pitch mix a little bit. He has more than 2 pitches, which is a good thing. Which Spoon, that's been you've been hammering that for a couple weeks now, and I can't help but when I watch it, just think about it nonstop. But he struggles with his command a lot. But over the past few starts, he's been extremely solid. What is it? He's only allowed more than 2 runs in his last 7 starts. He's been solid versus this lineup. 73 at bats, 233 opponent batting average, 727 OPS. Philly's been pretty good versus right-handed pitching over the last month, but I think that this kid, I think he's got some elite upside. I want to take advantage of it, especially early in this game. I like the first 3 under 2.5. I paid the juice for it. I paid minus 140 for it. And I have no problem with doing that. And I'm starting to love, yesterday I took the loss. You didn't take the crack, bro. I was offering you crack. I had some meth. I had some of the black stuff. You didn't want none of that shit. You said, I'm going full game on the Red Sox under, and you were damn right. What the fuck am I doing on a first 5 under, man?
Because there's fucking black tar, Troy. It's that
I knew not to
sweet
take
black
the first
tar.
3 under. I knew not to take the first 3 under, and I ended up taking the first 5 under because I'm a pussy. It's because I'm a fucking puss. Let's be honest. When it comes to totals, I don't got the balls yet. You'll see me take big plus 200 dogs, no problem. But I can't take I don't know, the totals. I'm still getting there. But yeah, I'm on the first 3 under. I think it's first 3 or full game from here on in. And I'm on the first 3 under here. And if we get 3 runs in the first 3, I could reevaluate and maybe potentially hammer a live bet under. Because the market plays for the under as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think this market definitely, the Marlins are not good against lefties, and the market's saying that our guy Eduardo Cabrera is going to pitch well here. So agree wholeheartedly. Spoons, are you on the right side of history here?
Yeah, he's on the Marlins.
The right side of history here. I already touched on that.
Okay, good. I wanted to make sure that you were on the right side of history, Spoon.
You guys make me want the Marlins.
Well, Troy, now I'm offering you some black.
The market respects the Marlins too much to bet it.
I'm on the Marlins here, Troy. I'm offering you some sweet black tar, some sweet heroin, some cocaine. Just come and join us here down in Miami, where the weather's nice and the roof will maybe be open. Who knows? But it's going to be nice.
Kokanowitz is down there with you now?
Yes. That he would be a great fucking Miami Marlin. Shout out to Jack Kokanowitz. Let's roll on here. I'm on the Marlins. Troy, first 3 under. And by the way, of course, Jimmy the Bag, not here, but the first 3 unders will always be here. And Spoon on the Miami Marlins with us here. Spoon, what number did you go?
I bet on that game.
Oh, well, sorry. I wanted him to. I'm trying to convince him to be on the Marlins now, guys. I'm trying to get him on the right side of history here. But I'm excited. Troy, what was that number on that first 3 under you got? You're muted. Sorry.
My fault. I'm minus 140.
Minus 140. 2.5?
2.5.
Okay. Beautiful work there. Let's keep it rolling here with the Mets and Braves here. I bet the over in this game, and Chris Sale shoved it up my ass here. But what an interesting line we have here. Another one of these lines that stuck out to me when riding it out here. Minus 130 for the Atlanta Braves here with Spencer Strider, who has not been good yet. I don't want him to write him off completely, but I have Braves friends that are like, yeah, this guy's done. His velocity's down. It's not going to come back, blah, blah, blah. All that classic being scared nonsense. But he finally comes back, and though it's against the Rockies, 6 innings, 3 hits, 13 Ks, 1 walk, a little of the old Spencer Strider back. Now, do I want to back him here against the New York Metropolitans? I do not, especially coming off of that shutout yesterday. I think the Mets are really that good that coming off that shutout, I don't know if they are to be trifled with. Our guy Ron Crawford in here as well. Shout out to you, my guy Ron. He is on the New York Metropolitans here. And if you have headphones, take them out now. Shout out to you, Ron Crawford. Shout out to you.
Jimmy doing in the back, just like creeping around. Like,
yeah, he's just silently just watching over his shoulder, just in case. By the way, Detroit's apparently up 1-0 already. Yeah, so Heen Dog already down 1-0 there. Good notes there. Thank you, Ron on the Mets. I mean, Spoons will let you, or actually, sorry, Troy will let you start this one. Spoon started our last one. Again, this just seems like a fishy line here with the Braves, and I'll quickly touch on the market here for our guys at odds here. We have 53% of the bets on the Mets, 64% of the money on the Braves here, and 88% of the bets, 77% of the money on the under in this game. And this one, I believe, has gone up. Actually, no, we're still at 8.5 here. So what do you think?
So I'm starting to love this game because I'm loving to see where the line is moving as of recent, because it's moved towards the Braves, which is really good for the profile that I was hoping to fall into. Because in divisional matchups in this opening price range, the market is extremely effective and efficient, and the way that they move the line indicates who's going to win the game. We're talking about a 70-game sample with a 64% accuracy rate in terms of the line movement, right? And now we're starting to see the line moving towards the Braves, and I love to see it. And just watching, like, you look at the cash flow. What do you got for cash flow on Oz Logic in this one? Because I haven't moved on this game yet.
I have, and I'll go back to it right now. We have 50-50 ticket split now. It's updates, as you guys know, updates live. 50-50, 65% of the money on the Braves now.
65% of the money on the Braves. On action, we got a little bit different here, but it is 50-50 on the betting splits, I believe. But I think we're seeing much bigger bets, 60% of bets, 78% of cash. So a little bit of a vast difference there, depending on how you look at it. But watching this line move towards Atlanta makes me extremely bullish, puts a smile on my face. I've wanted to back Atlanta. I backed them yesterday with Sale on the mound. I said, basically, Jimmy was the one who pointed it out, like, this guy's bet on from here on in. He said that maybe a month ago, as soon as he started dealing, honestly. And I've just continued to back him and continued to cash. I didn't make mistakes with some of the totals that I know some of our brethren did in his starts, but Strider, like, he's got a 4.36 ERA, 4.27 xERA. Just his 2 starts ago, his xERA was up over 6. So we start to see that line plummet. I think we continue to see it plummet. I think after today, we're going to see that line flip, where he's going to have favorable regression projected in his future, rather than really stagnant right now, because his ERA, he's pitching to his xERA at this point. I think that looking at his last 2 home starts, D-backs, I think they had like back-to-back home runs against Strider. But other than that, he's been extremely solid. Other than that 1 inning of work, 11 innings pitched and a 1.0 whip in his last 2 home starts. We know this guy has Cy Young caliber stuff. I want to hear more. I know Spoon's got some metrics that we're going to be able to dive into and understand what's going on with him better. And maybe that dictates what I do with this game. The Mets have great numbers versus this guy. Great numbers. And 80 at bats. So, right, is that false? Like, are we going to see him pitch better suddenly, even though he's in much worse shape than he was historically? But his last outing versus the Mets, he dealt in New York, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs. And the problem with betting on the Atlanta Braves is the Strider equation. The market's great. I don't know how Strider's going to do what he's going to do, especially with this history versus the Mets and the Mets versus right-handed pitching, who are second over the past month. And then Holmes is the other side of the equation, and he definitely has regression looming. I mean, he's been great. 2.87 ERA, 3.94 xERA. And I think that if he's pitched against some of the worst lineups in all of baseball, Colorado twice, Miami twice, White Sox, Pittsburgh, Washington, all on his resume, all good starts, and all definitely making a huge influence on his ERA that we're looking at right now today. Obviously, like I've said it before, I think the Mets, that they've kind of been overrated, overprojected by the market. Generally speaking, I think we're seeing that come back in line. Maybe the time is now to stop fading the Mets. They're kind of in free fall mode. But I think that their strength of schedule has been extremely weak, and I think the Braves are on the other end of the equation where we should see some upwards mobility. I think that the Mets are a good bet, or the Braves are a good bet today in the current market environment.
Okay, I find that to be very interesting. Go ahead, Spoons.
So I'm going to be on the opposite side of this. I think this is the Mets spot. I look at the Mets bats. They've been swinging really well. It doesn't really matter how you look at it versus right-handed pitching versus left-handed pitching. They're top of the top 5 metrics any way you want to cut it. Spencer Strider, this is obviously a Cy Young caliber guy. He's got amazing stuff if you look at some of his past years. But this year, he had 2 pretty good setbacks coming into the season. He had to have an internal brace put in his throwing arm. He also had a hamstring injury that set him back coming into the season. This is a guy that's just not throwing how he wants to be throwing, and I think we're looking at a really good spot to fade him. He just looked amazing versus Colorado, which is one of the worst lineups in baseball. He got to pitch at home, and it was clearly his best start of the season. Colorado's lineup and the Mets lineup are very, very far apart. I think the Mets are going to get to Strider. I think he has control issues that weren't really showing up in that Colorado lineup because they swing at stuff outside of the zone. But a more seasoned lineup like the Phillies or like the Giants were both able to get 3 or 4 walks off this guy. If Strider's putting people on base, and the last thing I haven't mentioned, his fastball, he used to have 98 in his back pocket. He's sitting on 95 right now, and it's consistently coming out of his hand. I saw a 94-mile-an-hour fastball from Spencer Strider, and it immediately just set off triggers in my head. This is not a guy I want to back anyway. I have a note, and it says plus 120 back the Mets from my notes last night. I put 4 bets on the card. I didn't really plan on adding anything, but the market's going the way I'd like it to. I expect everybody to see that Colorado start and say Spencer Strider's back, he's fixed, everything's right, and I think it's not. I may add the Mets yet. I want to. I haven't found a way to do it, but Mets money line may make my card by first pitch.
Oh, man, what a fascinating game. I kind of gone back and forth listening to both of your breakdowns here. Troy, any final words on this one? People in the chat, Irish King says Mets money line, Chill Will Mets money line, Robert Martin saying taking Mets plus 110. Am I nuts to take the Mets? Gorky likes the Mets here as well. No Braves. I'm surprised I've not seen a Braves backer in the chat here. Let us know if you guys are in fact moving.
I guarantee Stacks is on the Braves.
Who's on the Braves?
Probably Stacks.
I can't. I'll pull up his X real quick and check. I'll see if we put it out.
Billy Friedrich saying everyone's on the. Oh, look at that! Justin McKelvey saying Mets plus 105 in my pocket. He said, "Fuck his Braves." How about that? Billy Friedrich.
More.
Billy Friedrich saying everyone on the Mets. What could possibly go wrong?
Billy,
they're not. Look at the market. Everybody's on the Braves.
Yeah. We'll go the market again, just for everyone's sake. 52% of the bets. Oh, sorry. Well, I'm looking at. Oh no, I'm looking at the under. Sorry, 52% of the bets, 65% of the money is on the Braves, excuse me. 52% of the bets are on the Mets. So what a fascinating game here.
How about this? How about this? I'm looking at Bovada right now. In the first 5, the Braves are minus 160. In the full game, they're minus 140.
Good Lord. What a difference there.
I look at the Mets. I look at the Mets' recent history, right? Just the last few series they played. The Braves, obviously, the Braves. They got swept by the Rays. The Washington Nationals, the Rockies, the Dodgers, and their offensive numbers. I'm thinking of all of this with their offensive numbers in mind. The Dodgers don't have a pitching staff that scares you. They're allowing a lot of runs. Then the Rockies again, the White Sox, the Dodgers. Like, you just keep going back. You don't see quality pitching. I'm not saying the Braves and Strider's a quality pitcher. I'm just saying, like, the market is sticking out to me. Is like something smells like Braves to me. And I don't know the right way to bet it right now.
I kind of agree with you. I thought this line was signaling Braves, but, I forgot. I think it was Robert Martin said in the chat. He said that, how many times are you going to see like a 7-3 pitcher favored, as the underdog against a 1-5? Obviously pitcher record doesn't fucking matter. And we know that, but it's just very
interesting. Team record.
Yeah, another good note, And the Braves were favored last night, and I was surprised by that as well, or how big they were favored last night. But yeah, I've gone back and forth. I'm going to stay off this game. Spoons, you said you're official. Well, you're not officially on anything yet, but you're looking at the Mets.
Yes, I'm just going to reiterate it. Spencer Strider's not right. I think everybody's going to see that Colorado outing, all the strikeouts, and they're going to say he's back. Everybody's going to load up on the strikeout props. Everybody's going to load up on the Braves. The money's starting here. I think this is one of those divisional matchups. This is going to be knock him out, drag him out. Spencer Strider does not have good numbers versus these Mets. Short sample size, but I think they find a way to get to him today. I really do.
Billy or Chill Will saying that the bookies are trying to lead the witness. Some good court terms being used here as well. Troy, final thoughts on this game before we roll on?
Yeah, I'm going to make a bet in this game. I just have to figure out if I want to go head-to-head, but I feel like this is the time to.
Like I said, I'm not on it. And, if we go head-to-head, that's fine, Troy. You're a great capper.
Yeah, you are.
I know it's better tonight knowing you got some money.
Yeah, Troy, as someone from experience that's gone head-to-head with both of you guys and has lost like every single time I'm against you guys, it's not fun. It's not fun. I've put money in both of your pockets by being on the other side of you two, so you're welcome.
And you're on the Mets, right?
Me? I have not bet anything. Yeah, and Spoons is evaluating it and probably going to be on the Mets, it seems. So Big Daddy Boom adding another 3 units on the Mets full game here as well. So that's good. Good breakdown here, gentlemen. Let's keep rolling on here. We have 3 more games to talk about. We'll get into the NBA, WNBA here shortly. Baltimore Orioles versus the Tampa Bay Rays. Spoons, this is a game you're excited to talk about, I believe. So I'm interested to hear what you have to say here. And I agree with Bobano when he said earlier that I am worried about that 8-0 collapse by the Orioles lingering a little bit here. And, it's obvious we have the better pitcher with Rasmussen versus old man Charlie Morton on the bump here. I admittedly, I thought minus 140 was a little cheap. And I was like, this is a little weird. Now we're seeing minus 130 here. Oh, Christ. That's not us. Oh boy. Let's go to the market here. 68% of the bets are on Tampa Bay. 57% of the money is on Baltimore. Ah, God. Gentlemen, it looks like I'm going to be on the Baltimore Orioles here yet again. I want to slam my head against the wall here later tonight, it seems. But I'm going to be interested to hear what you guys have to say about this one, Spoons. I'd love to hear you go first here. Tampa Bay Rays, Baltimore Orioles.
The market hates my bet. I took the Rays last night, -1. Clearly should have waited. Could have gotten a better price right now. I'd just probably take the money line at a -135 is the best price I'm looking at on onshore stuff. But I think these Rays bets match up incredibly well with Charlie Morton. Sure, Charlie Morton just had a great start, 5 innings pitched, no earned runs, but This is a guy I have zero faith in. He is 75 years old on the mound, pitching in one of the smallest, easiest to hit ballparks in baseball right now. I think he's going to look really uncomfortable. Drew Rasmussen, he's been out on this mound multiple times this season. He's looked incredibly impressive in a few of them, not giving up a run to Texas, not giving up a run to Minnesota, not giving up a run to Toronto. And this is one of those parks where every fly ball goes out to the warning track. So if they really get a hold of it, it's gone. And this Orioles bet, maybe it's a little bit of a spite bet for me because I was on the Orioles money line yesterday. I looked down and that 8-0 collapse. It's going to take a while to like mentally recover from trying to trust this team again. But regardless of that, I would be on the Rays here. We have the bullpen advantage with the Rays. I think we have the starting pitching advantage. And I think the public will give the Orioles the bats advantage. And I can see that in some fashion. But these Rays bats at home, you shouldn't sleep on them. They know exactly how to swing the ball. They lay into it. Some of their home metrics as far as pulling the ball, like you can tell they're definitely looking to just put the ball out of the park here versus when they're on the road. And I think Charlie Morton's going to be in a long day.
Okay. Troy, the market's moving. What do you have to say about it?
So I can make a case in the database for either side. I know that psychologically it does not make sense for me to bet this game because either way, if I bet either side of this equation and I lose, I'm going to be pissed off, especially if I'm on the Rays and I lose because you know who's a sharp and got trapped? Me. Betting this O's team over and over and over, especially in these spots. And there's no way I'm going to be trapped again on this O's team, especially with Charlie Morton on the mound against this lineup. But we're looking at an 8.5. Like, it just smells so shitty, like it usually does with the Orioles. And I just know I just should not bet this game for my own well-being. But I would side with Spoon. I would side with Matty Ice. Those are two guys that I would trust, and that would mean Rays or nothing.
Rays or nothing for Troy. Matty Ice, thank you for reminding me. Taint play of the day. First 5 -1/2 here for our guy Matty Ice. Shout out to Taint. Shout out to you, my guy, Matty Ice. He's also on Double Result, San Fran Run Line, and Double Result as well. So shares your love of San Francisco.
Yeah, based on everything here today that we've talked about so far, that game is crept up to the very top of my list. Seeing, cappers I respect in agreement.
Well, I am going to be trapped again here. I'll walk headlong into this trap. And I will be on the Baltimore Orioles here yet again. Is it because I hate myself? Maybe. But let's find out here
I
together.
would bet the Mud Hens before I bet the Orioles again right now. Shout out FanDuel. They have AAA lines.
Yeah, I admittedly, I'll see them in my live odds, and I'll just be like, do I want to just put $20 on the Worcester Red Sox to win right now and just hope they win? So shout out to the Woo Sox. I just bet the Orioles plus 120. Hopefully the trap doesn't bite me in the ass. Next game in our slate here, second to last one, Houston Astros versus the blank Athletics here. Colton Gordon, Jacob Lopez. This is the game that I'm sure Spoons is excited about with these young pitchers on the bump here. I know Spoons loves him some Colton Gordon and Jacob Lopez here. Now, for the people that don't know about our friend Colton Gordon, he's been in the majors here for a little bit now. This is his 7th start. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs. 5 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run. 5 innings, 4 hits, 5 hits, 4 earned runs in his last 3 appearances against Minnesota, at Cleveland, and at home for Tampa Bay. This is his 2nd road start, and it's a little interesting that he was kind of sheltered and protected in his first few starts, not letting him go out on the road. So I'll be interested to see how he pitches here today. He doesn't really have home road splits because on the road he has 10 innings pitched so far. So we shall see. Everyone loads up against righties or with righties against him here as the lefty. And for this team, who are we going to see as the righties that we should be scared of? As I refresh one time here, Jacob Wilson, Rooker, Max Muncy, the other Max Muncy, Luis Arias, Gio Urshela, a catcher whose name is Willie McLeaver, who I've never heard of before, and Denzel Clark here ends the righty. So I'm fascinated to see how Colton does here today. The line, just looking at it, makes me feel like the Angels are definitely live here with Jacob Lopez, who's coming off of his first career win here in his 6th start here. 6-inning shutout, 3 hits. Baltimore before the Royals start, that 6-inning shutout was against the Royals. Against Baltimore, 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 run not earned. And against Minnesota, 4 1/3, 5 earned runs. So 2-start heater for Jacob Lopez. Troy Torrance, do you have any thoughts on this game?
I'm going to turn it straight over to Spoon, who I know probably has a stronger and better opinion on this game than I.
Please,
yes.
Spoon.
So I bet this game. I'm on Houston money line. I got it at -130. Like you touched on, these are 2 rookie pitchers on the mound in a AAA park. Both of these guys pitched in the PCL. This is not unusual kind of environment for them. But I think there's there's a lot that help the Astros out here. Lopez is a lefty. He's a lefty that has control problems. If you look at the Astros bats on the season, #1 in WOBA, the best way to measure any sort of bat, #1 in WRC plus. These Astros bats destroy lefties. This isn't anything new to this season. It goes back multiple seasons now. A lot of really good righties in the lineup. I think Lopez is in a bad spot. He's a guy that has control problems. Right now, his first few starts in the majors, you see he gave up 7 walks in his first 5 innings, 4 innings. And to try to compensate for that, he's throwing the ball over the heart of the plate. And if he throws the ball over the heart of the plate versus this Astros lineup, they're really going to make him pay for it. This is a very high run-scoring environment here today. Ballpark Pal has this 3rd overall at +14% runs and +33% home runs. Colton Gordon, he's a pitcher I like. I took a snapshot of his stats coming out of AAA, the PCL, the hardest AAA league to pitch in, and he was in the top 3 categories in every single thing statistically, and I think that plays pretty well here. This Athletics lineup I have respect for. I think they get a few runs off him, but I think he gets them 5 or 6 and hands the ball off to a much better lineup than what the Jacob Lopez and the Athletics have to offer on the other side. There's a few arms I like there in that bullpen, but I can't get there with the Athletics. It's a team I really like. These are 2 pitchers I spent some time looking at before they made their first starts, and I think there's value right here with Colton Gordon. He's better fit for the majors right at this moment to be successful. He's pitching on a better team, and I think it's a good spot for him. I think we're getting value just because people see the stats at this point in the season, and they look pretty bad.
Okay. So Colton Gordon love for our guy Spoons. Troy, do you have anything?
Database agrees with Spoon, so I definitely agree with Spoon in the spot. Yeah, I think Astros get the job done. I don't have a strong opinion on this game. I don't like betting the games in the AAA ballparks, although I did bet Astros double result yesterday, specifically because the database was too strong to ignore. But I would definitely be on the Astros again in this spot.
Okay. Astros lean for our guy Troy. By the way, 1-0 Brewers in that game. I guess a home run hit, 1-0 Cardinals. Bottom of the first there in both games here. All right, let's go to our last game here. And I do have to go grab my computer charger because we are rolling here. A lot of heat being given out in the chat on screen here. So I thank you guys all for joining us here. And let's cap this final baseball game. Dodgers, Padres. It feels like these 2 teams have been playing for the last 2 weeks. Yamamoto versus Bergert here. Look, it's tough to bet the Dodgers games in general. They're -200 when they have fucking Matt Sauer and Justin Werblinski on the bump. Now they're minus 250 with Yamamoto on the bump. Truthfully, my red flags are up a little bit. Maybe Yamamoto's a little vulnerable here. And just to look at their bullpen use here real quick, I want to refresh. I would love to see. Actually, didn't even use their bullpen. Justin Warblinski threw all 74 pitches yesterday and gave their bullpen a complete day off. So I was hoping that maybe we could get a tired Dodgers bullpen and you can take advantage of that with the Padres. But I stayed off this game. It'd probably be maybe an underlean or an overlean, an overlean here. But the line is moving towards the under, so I don't bet that. I don't want to go up against the market there. This opened up minus 230, is up to 243, 257 at some places here. And I'm seeing the cash flow at 64% of the bets, 52% of the money on the Los Angeles Dodgers. 53% of the bets are on the over, but 71% of the money on the under, seemingly a sharp under there, and 5-0 Pirates, as you guys are mentioning in the chat there. So no action here for me so far, gentlemen. We will start with you, Mr. Troy Torrance. Dodgers, Padres.
This is a spot. I like to say this because it's so true. This is a spot where before I built the database, I would never be caught dead with Dodgers money line or money line parlay or run line in my pocket ever. But since I built it, I got to find out that this is a spot that there's no way I would never not be on the Dodgers. I'm betting this spot every single time. It's the cash cow market. It's even better that it's in division. In division only increases the profitability of the profile. You also got Yamamoto coming off the worst start of his season, which is just a beautiful thing, and a spot we've backed, and goose egg the other team in cash cow spots earlier this season. And you got Berger, who's due. He's been great, but he's due for massive regression. 2.33 ERA, 4.0 xERA. This is an easy play for me to make. I got the Dodgers minus 1.5 for 2 units. The Dodgers double result for 1 unit. And I got 2 money line parlays with the Dodgers. That includes the Yankees in the early game, and it includes the Giants in the game this afternoon. So that's total of 5 units on the Dodgers, and typically I get up to 7 units with a play like this. The only thing I don't like is that the Padres are facing a sweep. So I probably don't get up there. I'll probably leave it at 5, especially if the Yankees and the Giants both win. So all my action is still open. I'll leave it at 5 units. So Dodgers 1.5, 2 units. The double result's a must at 1 unit. And then, I don't mind money line parlays with when you got a cash cow as your staple.
Shout out to you, Troy. I'll get those prices from you here in a second.
Market, I guess I should just touch on it real quick because we've seen this line move towards the Dodgers. We've seen the total up and over the 7.5, which is key. And you got a divisional matchup historically in this spot. And you account for cash flow. All the variables included 21-4 straight up, 16-9, 65% on the run line. And the sharp under starting to catch my attention, 16-7, 70% to the under in this spot.
All right. And under the market does seem like it's an under spot, but Troy, all over those Dodgers here, minus 1.5, double result, money line parlays with the Giants and those Yankees there. Spoons. It's tough to follow the cash cow, but what do you have to say?
I really like it. Troy, I don't think betting minus 1.5 in baseball is really worth it. I know you look at the results and have a different perspective on it than I do, but I think minus ones are where I have to cut it off. I think these giant favorites, as much as we don't want to bet them, that's the books doing exactly what they want.
I hate to interrupt. PCA home run 2-1 Cubs.
Go.
I knew you guys would like that.
Fucking love that guy. God damn it.
PCA at
2-run bomb. Hitting the ball so hard. Sometimes
I love the first.
I'm like, how did you do this?
Dude, how about that play in center last game? Followed up first pitch at the next, the bottom half of the inning. Fucking smoked off the scoreboard.
Must watch TV. Did you see the Cubs afterwards? They put a thing on the scoreboard. The scoreboard will be back in action.
I did see this.
If you'd like to help get us on track, vote for PCA for the All-Star game. Guy's a deadlock at this point, I think. Anyway.
Yeah. He might start.
He should.
Fuck. Yeah.
back to it. These giant favorites, they're very profitable. Betting them on the money line, betting them on the -1. If you take favorites, I think over 200 or greater at this point in the season, just on the money line, you're up 10 units. But if you take them on the -1.5, you're down 10 units. And it's a spot where I think the Dodgers are just, you put them in a parlay. It's not something I'm going to use it for. I have so much respect for Yamamoto. This Padres team, look at the bats 1 through 9. These guys can get on, they can score runs. So that plus 200 definitely should entice you. And I think the books did that on purpose. I think people are going to look at Yamamoto and be like, hey, he's not good enough to lay 250 with. I could only be on the Dodgers, but it's too much juice for me to really bet it. So I have a pass in this game.
I joined you, Troy.
Right. I want to comment on the 1.5.
Please do.
And the one line too, because I spent a lot of time looking at these big favorites 1.5, and it's insane. It's insane, insanity. Because once you flip it and you look at when the market's moving towards these big favorites, it's insane. Like I'm looking at 2025 right now. Now this is in division. I'll untoggle that, but we'll start with in division because that's what we're looking at. Between -300 and -225, that's the cash cow range. Total greater than 7.5, and the line moving towards the home team. 10-2 straight up, 8-4 on the run line, and the average margin of victory is 3.5. And that's including the games, the 2 losses in there. If you and this is just 2025. If you take off the divisional filter, 30-10 straight up, 23-17, 58% on the run line. And that's why, like the way the line moves is so important, because the books they gotta make up for their mistakes. They get concerned, they start moving that line, and when the mob shit starts going on, you'll know what's happening.
Yep.
Well, there we go. Beautiful breakdown. Troy, I'm joining you. I put the Dodgers in a money line parlay here. Dodgers Marlins for me, plus 205-ish. I have to calculate it out officially.
So actually, to Spoon's point too, like now I'm diving into this a little bit more. So 2025, no division. This is everything. On the run line, 23-17 is the cash cow profile. That's pretty good. That's 58%. Last year in 2024, 42-18, 70%. The money line, 52-8, 87%. And then back to 2023, where I got a partial season because this is when it started. 31-18 on the run line, 63%.
Oh, beautiful. This is why it's beautiful to have you both on screen here. The melding of the minds.
I have nothing but massive amounts of respect for Spoon. I became a much bigger fan of the Kyle Kerms channel because Spoon is doing the midnight show over there, and it's a must watch. He brings stuff to light that I don't look at and that I find value in, man. And he's done nothing but help me this season, either keep me off plays or get me on plays with his action, like he might be doing with the Astros in today's case.
Right back at you, Troy. You're a immense capper. NFL, the last few years, I've learned so much from watching you just work on that Bankroll Blitz show with Jimmy. Great to be on the screen with you, actually do some stuff.
It is beautiful to have you both on screen. Shout out to Kyle. Shout out to his show and late nights as well. I'm very interested. I'd love to have Kyle on the show here as well to have him break down a card. It'd be very fun as well. Let's recap our action here as well. I will go first because I only have 3 plays for us today here. Miami money line plus 129, Baltimore money line plus 120, and Dodgers Miami parlay together plus 205. I have to officially calculate that, but I'm guesstimating that's the price there, plus 205 there. So shout out to that there. Troy, I need your your odds here, but I have for you Cincy first 5 money line, Yankees double result, Yankees Dodgers, Pittsburgh Detroit over 7 even money, Chicago Cubs money line, Diamondbacks first 5 money line, Giants double result, Giants Dodgers, Giants -1, Philly Miami first 3 under 2.5, Dodgers -1.5, and Dodgers double result. I might have missed some things there. Am I good there, Troy?
So I added Giants -1. You got that one.
Yes.
I don't. What we don't have is a play on the Braves. So just give me the money line at the best price available. I'm not going to go straight up against the first 5, especially with Spoon's sentiment on that. So I think you get a minus 134. Minus 134. I'll take Braves money line minus 134.
All right, minus 134 for our guy Troy Torrance. And Spoons for you. I have 3 plays, but I know you have 4. I have St. Louis minus 1, minus 135, Giants minus 1, minus 118, and the Rays minus 1. I'm missing one. I know that.
The Astros money line at minus 130 with Colton Gordon backing him. The Cardinals minus 1 is in game 2 with McGreevy as the listed pitcher as my official bet there. That you just read my whole card out.
What was the price on the Rays there real quick?
Minus 108. You can get a way better number if you want to tail it right now.
Okay, beautiful stuff. Gentlemen, I thank you both for breaking down the MLB action here. I think you're more than welcome to stay for the NBA, but I assume you don't want to. Spoons, my man, I thank you. I will see you very shortly here. We'll have a great Sunday show with wine and our guy Spoon here at Walk Off Wagers. Anything you want to plug before we get you up out of here?
Yeah, just want to thank everybody in the chat for tuning in to Walk Off Wagers this past Sunday. We got over 1,000 views. We've been trying to do that since we started, and that's a big milestone. We want to continue to grow the show. Wine is a great capper as well. Always like getting on screen with him. Troy, you have an open invitation if you ever get some free time on a Sunday.
Appreciate it.
Continue to tune in. I'll be on the Kyle Kerms network for the rest of the week. Toast is doing some family time fun stuff with going on. So going to be doing that, the midnight show, the next 2 nights. But have a great rest of your day, everybody. Good luck with your action. As always, gamble responsibly. Keep a solid mindset. You just got to stay sharp. There's nothing more important in your tool belt than your mind itself. So have a great one. Enjoy it. Troy, great time with you. Jose, thank you as well.
Beautiful job, my guy. Spoons, Bets, thank you so much. Troy, let's fucking dominate today, huh? Be nice here, huh? Let's get here, go out here and get a dub. I thank you for joining me for the MLB. I wish you luck. Anything you want to plug before we get you up out of here?
No, just hit me on Twitter. I'll be posting on there occasionally. I just want to win. That's all I'm worried about. As soon as I close out this window, it's going right back to capping these games.
Okay, well, beautiful. And I wish you luck because that football fucking season's approaching. And I love everyone now. The first season, everyone was like, oh, wow, this is just Troy Torrance guy, huh? Oh, wow. Second seasons, everyone's like, we fucking need Troy. He fucking dominates. The legend of Troy Torrance is growing every day.
Yeah, if only I didn't bet the playoffs, my record would be insane.
Yeah, take out all your Chiefs bets from your record.
Take out all my Chiefs playoffs bets. I'm rich.
Yeah, it's ridiculous here. So shout out to you, Troy. I appreciate you, and we'll see you back here very soon.
All right, man. I'll be in chat.
All right. Shout out to our guy, Troy Torrance here. I appreciate you, my man. Let's move on. We have 3 games to chat here. Molly the dog wants to go outside and poop again, and I'm excited to talk with our next guest here. The one, the only one of the hosts of the Locker Room Talk podcast. Oh, my God. 4-2 fucking Brewers now. Good Lord. Offense is flying, but it's our guy, Billy Brisbane, joining the program. Billy Brizz, it's nice to see you, my man. How are you?
Doing good. Nice little NBA day today, and we got some WNBA goodies tonight. Nice little Thursday, and then fight weekend pops off tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune in, me and Joey. Changing the time of the event. We're going to do the PFL show right after this show concludes.
Oh, well, beautiful. Shout out to the PFL. Excited to hear all about that. And shout out to my guy, Joey, as well. Great energy, that guy, Joey. I wish I had a third of Joey's energy. I would be a much more efficient person if I did. Shout out to you, Joey. Now let's talk, Billy. We've got NBA and WNBA to chat about here today. And let us start with the men's league here. The Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Indiana Pacers. Game 6, 5, 6, 3-2 series lead for the Thunder here. And this is it, Billy. The Pacers had the shot to win the championship. They were up like 14 in the third quarter. They let it slip away. Oklahoma City grabs their neck and wrings it and puts the Anaconda Vice on the Pacers here. We have a hobbled and hurt Halliburton here, calf strain. Is he expected to play still, Billy?
Listed as questionable, but the way the market's moving, I would imagine he's in. But I still think he's going to be hurt regardless.
Agreed there. So we might see a lot of TJ McConnell here today as well. Maybe a sneaky prop for people to bet here. I'm seeing openers at 5.5 here. Excuse me, at 5. Gone up from 5.5. There were some 6s at penny for a long time as well, but it went right down to 5.5 here recently. Billy, is this the final basketball game of the season here? I'm very interested to hear your take on this game. There's 80% of the bets, 67% of the money on the under, and 59% of the bets, 61% of the money on the Indiana Pacers here. What do you think?
Yeah, with Halliburton getting hurt in that last game, things don't look bright for the Pacers for the series. But tonight, I think they're going to give it a fight. It took OKC up until their last road game in Indiana to finally get their first road ATS cover of the playoffs. Hallie's been great, but what makes this Indiana roster so good is how deep the roster is off the bench. And I definitely think they're going to need their role players to step up at home tonight. J-Dub and SGA look like they had the series locked up, but I see a game 7 in the future here. I think we get a game on Sunday here. And with Halliburton
wow.
Yeah, I took Indiana plus the 6. I wouldn't mind taking the money line. Like, I think if they cover, they probably have to win the game. It's one of those type of situations where more times than not, I don't think this number falls in between 6 points or not. But
I agree.
Yeah, I think the player prop to attack for this one, I think everyone's going to be on TJ McConnell, rightfully so, with the Halliburton news. But we got to back the birthday man himself, Benedict Mathurin, over that PRA here at minus 125. With Halliburton out, I mean, expect a lot of public money to come on TJ's points prop, but he's looked really good in the series. But my attention is more on the birthday boy here, 20-plus points in 5 of 7 games that Halliburton's missed this year. Even if he doesn't miss this game, I think he's going to be hobbled up. Game 4 was kind of like a back down to earth performance, but if they're going to get an outlier game, I think it's going to have to come from one of the bench players, and my pick is going to be Benedict Mathurin here. A little birthday swagger coming in for this one for some added narrative theory.
Little birthday swagger for our guy, Billy Brizz game. Beautiful. So you think the Pacers are going to win this game? Wow. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting. Now, Billy, as you love to say, grimy, greasy narrative theory here. The Oilers lose in game 6 in the NHL finals. You don't think they want a game 7 here? Somebody, they need to fill our game 7 need, Billy.
Sunday. I mean, I can't imagine. I don't know. I feel like the public sentiment with the NBA, whenever you think you know what's going to happen, happens. And everybody's seen the way OKC looked in Indiana and seen Halliburton limp off the court. I think Rick Carlisle pulled those boys early for a reason because he knows that they're going to need everything that they have to win this game tonight. And having backed the Pacers a lot throughout the whole entire series, this is probably like the first time I backed them outright. But I think this is a spot tonight for the Pacers. And I was playing around with some player props. You get Benedict Mathurin if you want to parlay both. Because I think if the Pacers win this game, it's got to be from the bench. And majority is probably going to be Benedict Mathurin. I can't imagine how much defensive attention TJ McConnell will get tonight with them kind of knowing about Halliburton's status. Benedict Mathurin over 15.5 PRA, and the Pacers plus 6 was plus 200 on Bet365 or money line, and the PRA prop was plus 200 on Bet365. I wouldn't mind that, but I'm going to take both of them as separate bets.
Okay, so you go one more time for me. Mathurin over the props again.
PRA minus 125, Bet365. You could probably odd shop that and get even odds, but we're just going to go with Bet365. That's the book that I have, and that's the book I'm going to use for this PRA prop.
Hey, what's the number again? I'm sorry, 11.5?
15.5 PRA.
And then the other one's 11.5.
Yeah, no, the points prop's at 11.5, but I like the PRA because he had 8 rebounds in the last game. Of like he's shown the ability to rebound the ball before, and always a good sign when FanDuel doesn't give you a PRA prop that other books aren't giving you. Maybe goes bonkers on the rebound category, but and I also have the Pacers plus the 6, minus 114 at Bet365. That line's moving, man. That line's moving down to 5.5 market wide.
Yeah, get on it while you can, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be on the Pacers with you, Billy. I'm going to take them plus the 6 as well here. People in the chat here, I saw AM liking the over in this game here. Chill Will joining us on Mathurin or Mathurin, as I've heard people calling him as well. A lot of Siakam love. Billy Friedrich, on the PRA, and so is Justin on over points there. Robert Franklin on his points as well. Beautiful. Billy, great breakdown. I hope there's a game 7 for our sake, and it'll be fun to watch. I'm very excited to talk WNBA though, Billy. This is where you cook. Come on, let's get into the dub here. New York Liberty, Phoenix Mercury here to start off our program here. Billy, it's me. I know it's obviously just me, but I feel like the fucking Liberty are favored by double digits every single game they play. Like, oh my gosh, I've seen 14, I've seen 10, I've seen 13. Now, again, it's just me and the games that I've seen recently here. But the Liberty, again, favored by 10.5 against your favorite team, or at least it used to be. I'm still assuming it is your Phoenix Mercury here, Billy. I'm very interested to see your thoughts on this game. I think we have WNBA markets here on Odds Logic here. We do. Phoenix here. New York actually getting 50% of the bets, 52% of the money, and 74% of the bets, 83% of the money on the under in this game here. Billy, big game here. What do you think?
Yeah, we were able to cash the Mercury Alyssa Thomas over 8.5 assists last night. That was a nice little cash spot. I believe Jimmy was on first quarter, but I was telling him I think the bench is a little bit better for the Sun than the Mercury's bench with no Sammy Whitcomb. And they ended up covering that big spread last night. They ended up backdoor covering that line, and the total finished right on the number at 158. Pushes either way, depending on what you had. But for this one tonight, you would think a 9-4 team versus a 10-1 team in the WNBA, the line would be closer. But Phoenix, second night of the back-to-back, struggling to close that game out versus Connecticut. They probably had to throw in the starters a little bit longer than what they wanted to. Now going into New York, where they're able to bounce back from a loss. Their defense hasn't been on point. I think they're going to take advantage of this rest spot tonight. I think they're going to be locked in defensively and kind of take advantage of no Kalia Copper out here for the Mercury. Yesterday, I talked about how I like the over in this one, but I'm actually going to shy away from that one. I think if there was an over for this one, it would be New York Liberty team total over 87.5 minus 120. I think we're getting a pretty modest number on their team total considering their last couple of games. Their last game against Atlanta didn't really look that good in the first half. And then the game before that against Indiana, they put up a stinker, but Jacquel Jones back in the lineup. You got the Salabi sisters playing against each other. The New York Liberty have been going with a bigger lineup with Salabi's little sister and then the older sisters on the Mercury. She's like one of the star players on the team. So probably get some sister back and forth action. I would lean plus the points whenever it's a WNBA game, but I actually think the Liberty end up covering 11.5. I'm going to stay off this game, but I like the team total over for the Liberty.
Liberty for Billy here, a little team total action lean here as well. Beautiful. I like that. I like the look here. Billy, I'm going to ask you, by the way, as we talk about Fever Golden State here, 11.5 point favorites are the Fever. Was I don't want to call it the most viral moment ever, but goddamn, I saw that Caitlin Clark video of her getting her ass kicked fucking 60 times on my time. It was everywhere. Good Lord. So my first question is, did any suspensions come out of that? Because Sophie Cunningham went fucking full OG mode, tackled the whole thing, and that was fast. It was a great watch, but any suspensions? What are you expecting from the Fever coming into this game against the Valkyries? Who, by the way, Billy, when coming into this WNBA season, I looked at the Valkyries roster and I was like, I don't know one fucking woman on this team besides Moole or whatever from UConn that was buddies with Paige Buchers. I didn't know a soul on the team. I was like, how is this team not going to be the worst team in the WNBA? How is this team not going to be bad? And you said this team is better than the sum of its parts. So please take it away. This game is a fascinating game for me.
Yeah, definitely game of the day for me. We saw J.C. Sheldon and Caitlin Clark. That rivalry goes back to college. She played at Ohio State when Caitlin Clark played at Iowa. So that's not the first time that those two girls have gotten into.
Oh yeah, I've seen those battles before too. Yeah.
And Sophie's a former football player when she was in high school. So not a lot of.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I kind of see the Fever coming in a little bit lackadaisical here. Long road trip, fresh off a Commissioner Cup berth. Indy 0-4 ATS, win favorited by 5.5 or more. 0-3 as double-digit favorites. Vegas isn't really giving any value at all to Tiffany Hayes returning back for the Valkyries. Yeah, they might have some players missing for Eurobasket, but you've been betting the Valkyries plus the points. It's been cashing. 5-2 ATS last 7, 3-0 ATS during that time at home. I think you take the Valkyries plus the points when it comes to a spread, but I like over the total here, 164. I think we're getting a modest number with the Indiana's home road splits, but I think this is just going to be a high scoring game. I don't see a whole bunch of defense being played, and if Golden State's going to cover this line, they're going to have to put up some points. And I definitely think the way that these two teams match up, they match up very well. I think there's going to be a high scoring, high paced game. I bet the over 164 minus 110.
Over 164 in this game. I saw my guy Justin McKelvey take the under. Cash out, Justin. Cash out. Take this over 164 minus 110. My guy Justin. Beautiful, Billy. See, our WNBA breakdowns with me, myself, and you, Billy, tend to be pretty quick here. So I thank you, Billy, for jumping in here. You guys have a beautiful show coming up after here. Can you review your action here? I've got 4 plays for you, correct? 3 plays?
3 plays for me today in the basketball world today. We got the Indiana Pacers +6, minus 115 at Bet365. Benedict Mathurin, over 15.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Birthday Boy, minus 125 at Bet365. And thirdly, we're going to go with Indiana, Golden State Valkyries, over the 164 at minus 110. FanDuel Sportsbook for some late night action. If you want to see the PFL action for this weekend, tune in to me and Joey popping off in a very little bit.
I want to see that bad. So definitely tune in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to change it so once this stream ends, you roll right into that stream here. So it'll be a lot of fun to watch the boys do the thing. Billy, anything else you want to plug before we get you up out of here?
Yeah, make sure you guys remember UFC Baku this week is a early card for the UFC. So Baku, which is actually pretty crazy because if you know anything about what's going on between Iran and Iraq, Uzbekistan's like right in between those two countries. I'm shocked that they're even having an event out there, but I would imagine that if they're holding an event out there, some of their countrymen are going to win. So that's why you got to tune in Saturday for the live stream, 12 o'clock noon, East Coast time here. Oh, radio. We got a nice little afternoon stream. Make sure you join the boys, breakfast and cocktails. Make sure you get your alcohol ready.
Make sure you get it ready. Billy, thank you so much for joining me here, and we'll see you here very soon, my man.
Yeah.
Beautiful work, Billy Brisbane. And stick right here, guys. I just changed it so once this stream ends, it'll kick you, and if you're on YouTube specifically, it'll kick you straight from this stream onto the other guy's stream. So shout out to Joey and Billy there. All right. Let's review action here. I've got a whole list of action from our cappers in the chat, and Molly the dog has to go potty. So we will review the action here very shortly here, and let me know what you guys in the chat are as well. I thank you guys again for being with us the whole show here. Chill, Justin, Nate, Nasty Nate, AM, Mark A, Big Daddy Boom, all you guys. I thank you. Gorky's in here as well. Thanks to all the guests in here as well. Reviewing our action here, I'll start with Bobano. CFL, he's on the Alouettes team, total over 27.5. The Rough Riders money line minus 165. He wants to be on Ottawa with Drew Brown, but is not yet. He's going to wait for that news. And he's on BC Lions plus 3.5. Our guy Jimmy, by the way. Our guy Jimmy the Bag, he told me to let you guys know that he is on the Edmonton Elks plus 6.5 minus 110, and he's on Montreal Edmonton first half under 24.5 minus 110 there. So shout out to Jimmy. Hope your shoulder is still attached to your body. Rockies money line plus 150 and the over 9.5 minus 115 for Bobano. Cubs money line minus 120, Rays minus 125, Cincinnati money line minus 105, and the over 9.5 in that game as well. So some of those plays obviously have already gone, but a lot of them you guys can still tail. Detroit Torrance, Cincy first 5, Detroit, Pittsburgh over 7 even money, the Cubs money line, Diamondbacks first 5 money line plus 110, Giants double result plus 130, Philly, Miami, first 300, 2.5, minus 140. Atlanta, money line, minus 130. Dodgers, minus 1.5, minus 120. Dodgers, double result, even money. Yankees, double result, minus 105. Yankees, Dodgers, parlay, plus 110. And a Yankees, Dodgers, parlay, minus plus 110. Okay, beautiful. Got that done. Last 2 plays for him, by the way. Giants, minus 1, minus 120. And Giants, first 5. Dodgers, full game money line plus 111 for Troy Torrance. Spoons minus 1 party for Spoons. Cardinals minus 1 in game 2, minus 135. McGreevy has to pitch that game, so make sure to mark action there. Giants minus 1, minus 118. Rays minus 1, minus 108. And the Houston Astros minus 130. Shout out to our guy Spoon. Nice to see Lucas Ryan in the chat as well. Nice to see you, Lucas. Hope St. Louis and the flower business is treating you well out there, my man. Billy Brisbane, for those who just missed it, he's on Indiana plus 6. Matherin over 15.5 points, rebounds, and assists, minus 125. And he's on the Indiana Fever. Golden State Valkyries over 164, minus 110 there. Beautiful. And my action, I guess I should say. I have 3 bets on the show. Miami money lines plus 129, Baltimore money line plus 120, and the Dodgers Marlins money line plus 205 there. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate all of you guys watching the program as you guys do every day. Jimmy will be back here tomorrow. At least I hope he is. Unless if he's not, his shoulder is officially just cut off from there off. So we'll see what happens to him there. Billy, Lucas, Robert McCormick, Justin, AM, Big Daddy Boom, Aaron Garza. By the way, Billy, again, sorry for not asking Bobano that question you wanted me. I apologize. Mark A, Irish King, BJ saying Pacers spread in money line here. Thank you, BJ. Good notes in here. Thank you again, all of you, for watching the program. We'll be back here again tomorrow, breaking it all down with old Jimmy the Bag and our cast of characters. So until then, hit the like button. Stay tuned in for the PFL show, and let's leche a Los Bookmakers.